to. Leaving mortified, 'cause I've been petrified. I'm losing me while I fight for my life. And still I can't find a strength. So throw me away. Just throw me away. Where's my head at? Where's my head? Where's my head at? Where's my head? Where's my head at? Where's my head? Something's missing here. I'm lost in what's next. It's dragging me down again and again. I've made the same mistakes. Destruction of my soul. I'm getting high to kill the loss. Just throw me away. Where's my head at? Where's my head?
Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing this Tuesday evening?
I'm doing really good tonight. This is going to be a really fun talk that we have put together here. I have a lot of notes. We have a ton to go over. So I feel great. How about you on your end, man?
I am doing good. Today was the last day of school, so finally I got no kids. Summer vacation has officially started, so I am doing fantastic just based off of that.
So you think we should just jump right into news and get rolling for the day?
Yes, let's hop right into it because we got 2 shows to cover tonight.
All right, perfect. So the first piece of news, Cardona has been leaning into his role as GCW GM. He said he'll change the landscape of GCW and make it a better place. So my question here is this where GCW dips their creative toe in sports entertainment? Because Cardona could be the Trojan horse for newer, innovative ideas. And if it succeeds, great. If it fails, then we can just blame Cardona's character. But variety is the name of the game at GCW, and I can see Brett capitalizing on a chance to try something new under the guise of GM Cardona. So I'm wondering, do you think this may be a great time to kind of dip your toe into sports entertainment a little more than usual?
So I've been loving everything Cardona's been doing, other than we'll get into it later about interfering in matches and stuff. But yeah, I actually do enjoy it. It kind of is like it's kind of reminds me of actually like the Vince McMahon, Brett's on accident though, poisoning GCW from the inside with Cardona and having him be general manager. And it kind of leads into like what we've kind of like talked about for the last couple months, is it kind of maybe could lead into like a team GCW kind of take back and take it away and bring it back to its kind of roots. And they could kind of play that out now with Cardona being the manager and kind of being the linchpin and the heel on that side. So I've been loving everything they've been doing with it. And it keeps Cardona, even though he's hurt, on GCW programming. And it's actually, like I said, I got a little notes on it later, but I've been loving all this stuff that has been going on with the sports entertainment era of GCW.
I'm really curious to see how far this is all going to go, because if given the ball to run, I mean, Cardona could get really creative here and a lot of inside jokes can flow around. We have a lot of smart fans that would probably catch on to a lot of those jokes. So we could have a lot of really interesting things going on. All right, on to the next one here. We're still waiting on entrant number 8 for TOS 9. Brett said he's waiting for a passport issue to clear up. So I was hoping personally for a domestic independent wrestler, but the talent pool runs deep worldwide. So I'm thinking maybe one of the Macizos. Brent, who are you thinking might be that international worldwide traveler that might be coming?
I have one hope for it, and Macizos is a good one, but my actual one I'm really hoping for and rooting for is the return of Drew Parker. Since he's wrestling now in TNT, he's back in wrestling. He is one that him coming back and kind of like helping get a little bit more death matches will kind of help revive the GCW scene, I think. And I think right now would be a perfect time for GCW to kind of capitalize on that and capitalize on his return, especially at the terminal, at TOS. It's the AC crowd with Drew Parker. That's going to be a moment, I think, if Drew Parker ever does return to GCW. That I think just all those situations kind of line up for a perfect marriage, especially since, like I said, he's got his warm-up match, not warm-up match, but his return match coming up in England. I'm excited to see at least him back wrestling and even over there, but I'm hoping it leads to a return to GCW, and I just don't see how it cannot be if that's what he really wants to fully return to wrestling, like how it seems like he might be.
And hello to chat. Here we go. Great One is already in the room with us. Drew Parker is a former TOS winner. So I'd have to say that somehow, I don't know how I didn't think of this, but you did a great job. And I think that's a much better pick than anyone I could have picked. That would be an absolute stunner of a comeback.
Yeah, I would take Macisos if it's like not Drew Parker. I would absolutely take the return of Los Macisos. I know we kind of talked about being a little bit scared a couple weeks ago, then kind of got some good confirming news that it's just visa issues. So that could make sense too, and I would be happy with it. But I would pop in I have it in a little bit if Drew Parker does return at some point. At TOS, I think that'd just be, like I said, AC TOS. That's just a cherry on the ball for him. Have a very fun night. As Great One said, former TOS winner, have him return at TOS and make a deep run. That'd be a good feel-good story, I think, even if he doesn't win, but just having him return to deathmatch wrestling and wrestling in general and GCW, I think at the terminal would be a sight to see. And I'm hopeful for it, but I honestly don't know. Who knows what's going on with his situation too? Because I thought his first return match to wrestling would be in GCW, not TNT. So who knows what's going on with Drew Parker still at this point?
Do you think it's maybe more of a hometown thing? Maybe, he's just being in his country for it. So,
that
if he's going
like
to make a splash, a warm up. Yeah.
Yeah. But as you said, go ahead.
There were a couple pictures out there that showed Drew Parker with a couple of the GCW performers. So maybe that's getting all wound together again.
Yeah, because a lot of the talent too go to TNT. And I think, him at home would be like a nice, easy return against a familiar face, against his hometown crowd, get his confidence back. Because I can see him also not wanting to return to GCW if he's going to be shit. Like, I think he takes a lot of pride in what he does, especially in GCW. So I can also see him kind of just making sure he's at 100% mentality and physical before he does return to GCW. But that's the one name I'm really, really hoping for TOS. And I wonder if they're going to go 12 deep again, like how they kind of had in the past, and have like two opening triple threat matches or something like that.
So Brett said 8. And he stuck with that number. That was something that he talked about on the official GCW podcast that's only on Patreon. I think it was 1 or 2 episodes ago of their podcast. Stephen A had asked, how many are going to be in this thing? And he said 8. And Stephen, I think, was going, only 8? And he goes, yeah, how many do you? Yeah, we're kind of spoiled. I would have taken 10 or 12, maybe had a little triple here or there or something crazy.
I would have as many as I can, because I know, like, we talked about it just recently, but also before we hopped on Game Changer Weekly, was the kind of seems like the lack of, as you said, domestic deathmatch wrestlers that are good enough to be on GCW's level and to work with them. So I think having 8 kind of just confirms what we've been saying. There's like, there's not a lot of deathmatch domestic wrestling or wrestlers that are rising up as fast as kind of like we hoped, or kind of how we've seen other wrestlers like Drew Parker and others kind of adapt to GCW deathmatch wrestling at a high level. So I heard 8, like when you said it's a hard 8, that just frightens me. That seems like Brett or not even Brett, but just like the talent, because half the talent is coming from overseas. So I don't know. I prefer more, but like other than those names we said, I don't know who else I would like to kind of see added in. I know like maybe 2 other names I would like to see added in that aren't added in currently, but
domestically or internationally?
Yeah, domestically,
yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, this one was a hard 8, he said on this situation. So I don't know what else may be added on the side in extra matches, because there's always a couple matches, interspersed there. So I'm not really sure. That's something we're going to have to find out there. I really had hope in a domestic person for number 8. I was telling everybody I went Cruel. That's the one I wanted the most. That's the one I had hopes in. But I was asked on the Steel Steps podcast, and it was they were asking, who would you like to be as number 8, and that's who I said it was. And oh, well, we'll see who it is, but I was asked about my feeling of the entrance this year because it seemed like the general feeling overall was, hey, you know what, that's a lot of unexpected names. And my opinion of it was deja vu. This exact thing happened last year. If you go look at the list of names last year, there was a lot of names that weren't very familiar. They were definitely not the list of performers that a lot of the GCW fans were initially asking for. But then we found out later exactly why they were chosen. So we find out later that Brett has a really good pick. It's just a matter of us having a chance to see these wrestlers come in. All right, Fire J Media. I'll just go ahead and just highlight it here. So Ivan says, rumor has it it's Cheeton. So don't be spreading that around though. So I'll just go ahead and put that. I didn't read that far ahead. I'll keep that quiet real quick here.
I don't know. Like, I actually preferred, like, last year. I think it did have some bigger names than kind of what we got this year. Like, I'm gonna try to pull it up real fast, but I think it's a good list and a good tournament so far. But I think it is kind of lacking a little bit. Kind of the bigger names that we kind of supposed to. Even though, like, last year we got a lot of foreign names too, but I thought they were kind of big names, like Rice Sarah, having her, and I don't know, maybe not it was TOS, maybe it was NGI, but some of like those names that we've never seen before, I thought were like really good picks, and they performed very well in GCW. But like this list just kind of seems like to me. Like, it's going to be good, it's going to be violent, but name recognition, name value, I'm just not into. I'm looking forward to them seeing a bunch of violence that night, but just based off of name value right now, I'm not too excited for it, but that could be on me. As a great one saying here, we got, like, it looks like some good matches there with Ultramantis and Shunma, but I don't know. Like, I think they're going to ball out and go crazy, but I think name value, just I'm not as excited as I usually am.
I see what you're saying. So you're looking at the card and going, okay, these maybe aren't the people that I was looking for. Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and kind of lay back with what I said last year. I'm going to remain hopeful and see what happens. I was pleased after last year's event. So I'm looking forward to see, we may be seeing some people that may become GCW regulars for the next year or so. This is how this happens sometimes. So they may be new to us because they were somewhere else just lighting up the scene. I have yet to go and do some research on YouTube on each and every one of them. But yeah, great one says Shunma Katsumata versus Ultramantis Black, round 1. Ivan from Fire J Media. A lot of dark horses in this year's. Hideyoshi is going to show out. I wish I knew so much more, but I'm going to have to trust these guys because they are way better experts on Japanese wrestling scene than I am by far.
That's what I kind of feel like too. Like, seeing other people get hyped, it gets me more hyped because at least they're probably more familiar with the talent than I am currently at this point. So whenever I do see that, as you said, like, I haven't gone on YouTube to check out some stuff. Like, I've heard of Ultramantis, but like, I've never really, like, nothing pops out of his work in my head. So like, I get way more excited seeing other people get excited for. So that does help build my hope up for TOS. And like you were saying too, the talent, like, oh, we could be down on the card, but then we always come in on here and review and like, holy shit, that blew our minds. We want that person back. We want this person back. Like, I'm excited for it, but for name value currently, I could hope for a little bit more.
Well, this kind of goes in the same vein as I was talking over there on a different podcast, but I figured I might as well mention it here that Bran and I have been interviewed several times in the past 2 weeks. Both of us were on Wrestle Dads. That episode will be out on June 6th. I was on Tom Talks Rubbish. That show is yet to have a release date. Brant will also be sitting down with Tom very soon for his own interview. Then I was hit up by Woods Wrestling Corner and that Steel Steps, and they did a great episode. I was on there with Adam Galt. Adam Galt is phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to having him on. He was a really, really incredible listen. I'll maybe talk more about that here down the road. But I know, Brent, you're kind of limited, but you're now starting to open up your schedule a little bit now that your school has let out and kind of done its thing. But the internet's big enough for everyone. So if everybody wants to get a chance, just get a hold of us, talk a little bit, see what they want to do. But yeah, you're going to see some stuff coming out with us in interviews there. And there's a lot of people that ask a lot of questions that we never really talk about, ask, or answer on here. So that was really refreshing to have, was someone actually wanted to sit down and ask questions about us. It's weird and it's different, but it was very, very fun.
Yeah, I like it actually. Like it was kind of nice not having to do all the hard work and just be able to sit here and just react and stuff like that. So I did find it though interesting, and it was cool talking about like how our podcast kind of started again and telling it on other people's podcasts. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Tom Talks Rubbish too, because I definitely want to see your episode. And I saw that they interviewed Phil Lindsay from Grapsody, and that was also another big podcast around the same time we started kind of the GCW Plant podcast, and I saw that they got to talk with them too. So I'm actually really excited to talk with them and kind of check out those episodes when they do come out.
You ready to rock and roll on this first show of the evening, my friend?
Yes, and I do have to say thank you, Great One, for reminding me that we have seen Shunma's work. I was like, the name just couldn't ring a bell to me, but hopping on his Twitter and seeing the face, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm excited for him because they like I said, I actually want like Chris Brooks and like a Mao and stuff like that. Like I would love some of those DDT people to come and do these death matches over here, especially in a tournament setting. Like I know I've been shouting for those two for a long time, but Chris Brooks would be an awesome eighth participant possibly. All right, sorry. Let's get started on GCW's Most Notorious, coming to us from the Harris Casino in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I will let you go into your notes because I know you have a lot of pre-show notes before we get into these matches here.
Yeah, there's a lot on this one here. I'd like to describe Harris to a lot of people who maybe didn't have a chance to watch it live or didn't have a chance to really look at everything yet. My thoughts: the venue's beautiful. It's an 11,000 square foot ballroom that can hold around 1,100 plus fans easily. There are multiple chandeliers hanging from a very high ceiling. There's recessed white lights, and they shine on like these golden yellow walls. There's a vibrant deep red ceiling that gives the place this classy feel. Kind of think of a New York hotel in the 40s. It has that royal red color. So I'm wondering if it's possible in this venue to dim the lights in the crowd and illuminate the ring. It would look good with the glowing red ceiling, and of all colors, it's red. So it's the color of fighting, danger, and blood. The hard cam caught everything as I just described in the opening shot of the broadcast. If we had a few banners on the wall, it would look like home. Also, I'm not against bleachers in this venue. I like the fuller look, and the fans fill the screen more. They also get a better view for their money. There are a few television screens in this venue. I would have put the black and white GCW on them. Imagine how that would have looked in the background in the dark. So to be fair, it looks like a venue from GCW's past. It looks a little bit like the Carousel Room. We heard that quite a few people online were talking about that. The walls in the background have similar shades of yellow. The feeling of, wow, look at that ceiling is there too. I miss that Carousel Room golden glow that it made on the camera. That changed the overall look and feel of the show. I took screenshots on X and posted a comparison of both venues online. So the doctor's ringside per state rules. If his services are going to cost the price of one wrestler, then it would be cool to know his name and make him one of us. Maybe get him a shirt to wear. He could save someone's life, including one of ours. Look at you. You're like, no.
Not after hearing the stories that I heard what that doctor was doing collective weekend.
What's that?
Oh, like they were saying on the Patreon, like how this doctor in Philly for the whole collective weekend was just in everyone's face, didn't care, was blocking everyone's view, was moving around and like taking his job uber seriously and stuff like that. So I actually kind of heard a little bit complaining about that doctor. So I wondered when I heard that comment on commentary if they were kind of poking fun at that shit because they weren't too happy with that doctor.
No kidding. Well, outside of the stringent state rules and the carpet that almost guarantees that there's no blood loss, I don't see much that eliminates this venue from being a more permanent home. It is a hotel, so there's a possibility of discounted room rates. You can gamble. It's in the tri-state area. It looks like a place you would hold a wrestling event. That's a few of the bigger boxes checked off. So this may be our first GCW show that we've reviewed that lacks a championship defense of any kind all weekend.
Oh, didn't
Thanks,
realize,
Cardona.
man.
Yeah, thanks, Cardona. Our world champion is in the best of the Super Juniors in Japan right now and doing wonderful. Maki has the Extreme title in Japan. Rina has the Ultra Violent in Japan. Our JCW title and tag team titles were also unavailable. So the show felt a little less important without a title on the line, and I'm just being real about that. But the Philadelphia fans must have loved GCW coming back after only being gone for 6 weeks because the place was still full. Okay. I'm gonna let you. You look like you're ready to just explode on that one. Go for it. I know what you're gonna say.
Why it's 6 weeks and we can't get 6 months out here in Vegas, man? I just don't understand it.
So that's an interesting question.
Nuts, man.
An interesting question I was thinking about. We have Double or Nothing 2025 maybe in Vegas, and you have WrestleMania maybe in Vegas. Are we looking at double collectives in Vegas?
I wouldn't mind having that little mini collective. I don't know. I heard rumors though of GCW or not GCW, AEW possibly not coming to Vegas after this year.
Of course,
I don't know. There's always rumors, but I loved when I got excited. Obviously, when they first said the first one, this is our home. This is going to be an annual thing here in Vegas. But time will only tell on that one. But that would be cool if we got kind of back to back April and May. GCW shows out here in Vegas to make up for this last year because it still doesn't feel right. This is the day I get out of school. It's a Tuesday. I enjoy tonight, and then usually tomorrow I go to Dynamite. Then Thursday I go to some local show. Friday go to some local show, or if not GCW. Saturday another big local show, and then I go to AEW again. Now I just got Saturday and Sunday. I got nothing to do these next couple days, and it's kind of disappointing. It doesn't feel like a Double or Nothing weekend. It's missing definitely the independent wrestling scene right now, I think, come along with it.
Which I think is the heart. That's the heart of it all. There's a lot of fans out there going, oh, we're going to miss our big GCW show. So back to this one here at Harrah's, because I caught myself even thinking about, okay, we'll talk about Emel's in the ring. He's all pumped up. He announces, I'm at Harrah's, and the night begins.
Real fast, let's hop on this one. Mike Sweeney with the theme of Double or Nothing. Where else would it go if not there? I guess that would make good sense. I wouldn't mind seeing it in AC, and I guess the AC crowd wouldn't mind seeing it in AC too, with all the rest of that goes on out there. I don't know. I just have a feeling that with WrestleMania coming, that's going to kill a little bit of Double or Nothing coming back here so soon. But who knows? I'm excited for the possibilities of just next year in general. All right.
They might change it up to save face just because they may need a smaller venue than the one they were in a year or two ago also. And then here's WWE selling it out 2 nights straight. And then here's AEW down at this, T-Mobile or somewhere, for lesser. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have no problem with them coming here twice, except for my wallet will.
Yeah.
I'll be selling my body on the strip.
Old downtown. Here we go.
Yeah, old downtown.
All right. First match of GCW's Most Notorious was a tag team match, as it was the Legion of Rot, Frightmare and Hollow Wicked, going against the main event, Jay Lion and Midas Black. I thought this was a nice, fun opener. I'd never seen Legion of Rot before. If I have, I don't remember. I know I've seen Hollow Wicked before, but Frightmare seemed new to me. They're a different tag team. I definitely think they're different. There's something they can provide something different than a lot of tag teams can. I like that. There's always space and room out there for differences in styles and character and stuff. And yeah, of course, I'm always happy to see main event back in GCW. So I enjoy this match. It was a good kind of first experience for me with Legion of Rot, and I don't mind them. I wouldn't mind seeing them come back. I think, like I said, they could be a good heel team that kind of makes baby faces look good, as I kind of did in this match.
Oh boy. So here we go. This is the team you love, Brent. Main event. The main event walkout first. I put that they're always a solid team. I felt like this was their weekend. They opened on night 1 and they closed night 2. Jay walks out with the hoop and it busts open. He had to put it back together. Fans found that funny. This is main event's 19th match at GCW. They're 4-time champions. Yeah. They are the current HOG Tag Team Champions, 276 days in running. This is their second run with the belt. Their first title run with the Tag Team Championship was 83 days. They were the BCP Tag Team Champs for 539 days and the PPW Tag Team Champs for 602 days. Their average title reign was 375 days. That's 10 days over a year. Mad respect on main event, right?
Yeah. I when you said 19 times, like it makes me feel like every time I write it, I hate writing it, but it's like I'm always so happy to see main event in GCW. But like 20 times, I think at this point I can stop, and they're like pretty much regulars now. If we're going to be in the New York or like the tri-state area, we can always count on seeing the main event out there.
Oh, and I'm sure that makes you happy too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I get a smile on my face every time I see them in Waves and Curls.
We actually haven't seen them in a while. We'll get into that here, I guess, in a little bit later. The Legion of Rot are Philly locals, best known for their work in Chikara. This is their second match at GCW. Their first was July 3rd of 2021 at JCW's The Great American Smash. This is their first career match since then. They were BP Tag Team Champs for 221 days. This is a treat for the fans who know. Welcome back, Legion of Rot. So you said you did remember Hollow Wicked, but you weren't sure about Frightmare?
Yeah, and I was trying to think back to that JCW car. Like I think that's the one like Billy, or no, Mike Bailey was like wearing the hat and stuff like that. It's like one of those 4th of July shows, but Legion of Rot doesn't come to mind. So I know, because I knew they like looked familiar, sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember what matches or anything like that. So good to know that I have seen them before.
Yeah, Hollow Wicked was another one I think I remembered seeing from, like I said, I don't know from it was Chikara or where it was, but hey. Yeah, it was good. It was good seeing he has a tag team partner. That's how much I knew of that whole thing. But this was an opener between two very colorful teams, a fun carnival act versus a scary act. Jay Lion keeps growling as at opponents, and then everyone starts roaring at each other. Jay and Frightmare scared each other and fell to the mat. There was a hula hoop chant also that went out there. Tag rules were followed, so getting to the corner added a level of drama when they needed it. Lion and Frightmare would be a good match somewhere. It's just something I saw when I was watching. Midas Black shined in several spots. The final 45 seconds had both teams facing off in ring and exchanging punches. Midas kicked to the outside by Frightmare. Hollow Wicked hit Jay Lion with a sky-high power bomb. Frightmare follows with a double knee moonsault for the win. So in 9.5 minutes, our winners were the Legion of Rot. Any other thoughts you have on that match?
No, I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good opener. Like I said, it had its spot, and I'm just always happy to see main event. So yeah, I was disappointed to see them pick up the loss, but I was happy to see them at least.
Yeah, it was absolutely solid. Prazak was alluding to seeing Legion of Rot more in GCW, given their win over main event was so strong. They also put over main event, but both team I thought worked their asses off, and I'm not against seeing more of what they can do down the road. Frightmare fixed main event's hula hoop and gave it back to them. They both followed up with handshakes, so I was just happy with everything in the opener. I had so many just fun little notes here. It was just bam, bam, bam. So quite happy. Like everything about this was just enjoyable and no complaints.
Yeah, I think it's solid opener, opening match for the night. Next match was another solid matchup, and one I was looking forward to seeing was Matt Mikowski going against the Mecca. And yeah, we talk about how much we see Mikowski improve time and time again, and like this weekend, I kind of noticed the Mecca kind of how much he's improved since the last time I've seen him, and I was impressed. This match kind of like exceeded my expectations, because I think like more of seeing Mecca improving and how much stylistically these two kind of meshed well together in the ring. And I was happy for this to be a nice second match, and like not like, yeah, we're not getting the big name so far in a typical GCW show, but we're getting like the second tier talent, and I think, and they're putting on great matches, and it's just so cool seeing the improvement and seeing them. That's why they keep coming back more and more to GCW.
All right, let's start with the Mecca, aka Brian Johnson. He's a Philadelphia local performer, 6 foot, 200 pounds, 17 years in ring, over 330 career matches. This is his 6th at GCW. He was first seen at GCW at the Settlement Series Part 5 in a 1 light tube match versus Jimmy Lloyd. He's held 13 titles, his longest being his second run as PPW heavyweight champion for 273 days. His average title reign, 145 days. Matt Mikowski, we've talked about him a little before, but I'll kind of just put a little bit on him here too. Also a Philly local, 5'11", 218, 5 years in ring experience. He's won 2/3 of his 159 career matches. This is Matt's 18th match at GCW. 3 championships to his name: PPW Heavy Hitters Champ 14 days, the Catalyst Wrestling Freestyle Champ 85 days, and the current Black Label Pro Midwest Champion 170 days and running. Yeah, that's what's going on with those two. So Mecca came out very intense, and he stuck with that for the entire 6.5-minute match. Amateur wrestling style came out first. Both men were semi-stiff with each other, as expected and necessary between two wrestlers of this style. Did you kind of notice too? They were kind of, yeah, I mean, they made it look good.
Yeah, I can say, like, stylistically, they definitely meshed well, and they brought a hard-hitting match.
Mecca was getting asshole chants. He made a great asshole. He did a great job on that. Referee Adam Galt broke up an armbar on a rare GCW rope break. That was very interesting. Mikowski was wearing down Mecca mid-match into the finish. Matt did some crazy rolling thing into a suplex. I swear, I wish I could tell you what it was. And then he went into a mid-air armbar for the win, which was absolutely impressive. Notes are just scarce on this one. Again, 6.5 minutes, very short, but sweet.
Yep. Like I said, a good. I'm glad they both got the showcase on a GCW card instead of like a JCW thing. They both have been working their ass off, and we get to see it pay off here. Excuse me. Next match is Brandon Kirk going against Cole Radrick. I was really looking forward to this match. Nice step up in competition for both Kirk and Cole as of late. Once again, they both are stylistically good because they just could do everything they want. I wanted to see a little bit more hardcore, a little bit more extreme than kind of what we saw, but this just leads me to go to, I want both of them in TOS. I don't know. We're just building this TOS card, and I put here in the notes that night here. Those two would be a good one. And yeah, I was kind of surprised at the end. That was a little surprising victory by well, we'll go over that when we get there, but I was just surprised at the ending.
No, yeah, we will definitely get down to that. It was different. Outside of 2020, Brandon Kirk has participated in at least 2 GCW matches a year since 2015, totaling 46 over the last 9 years. It does not feel like that at all, does it? Does it feel like Kirk has put in that many matches, bro? He's participated in 15 tournaments in his career and made the semifinals or finals in 9 of them. Last year, he ranked number 197 in the 2023 PWI 500. Cole Radrick, we all know Cole. I put something down on him because I was just feeling like it that night. So here we go. Cole Radrick, 13 championships to his name. His longest title reign was the unsanctioned Pro Heavyweight Championship for 259 days. Check out Cole's title defense of that championship from April 2nd, 2022 against Mike Bailey. Fan favorite Cole Radrick currently holds the brass ring that gives him a shot at whatever title he sees fit. In 6 months, Cole will have celebrated 5 years with GCW. That was also something that I found really interesting. I didn't think he'd been with them 5 years already. Closing in on 5 years.
It doesn't feel like I started watching them 3 years ago. It feels like I started watching them longer than that, but it's only been 3 years.
Yeah. Time goes by quickly sometimes, I'll tell you. And COVID made times a little, like, there was a year or two I feel like my memory just blocked out kind of thing. Like, it's almost like psychologically I still don't feel like it happened. I don't know. All right, so back to wrestling. Kirk established heel early, Cole showing he wasn't backing down. They went outside early, Kirk doing a nice job catching Cole from falling into a bunch of fans. Spot where Cole ran towards Kirk and he flipped Radrick into several rows of chairs. That was all over online. You could find it. Cole Radrick's my favorite wrestler. Chance mid-match to help Cole get back into the match, and it worked. Plenty of ratty daddy chants as he brings out our first door of the night. We hear door, door, door chants from the fans, and at one point I could hear fans having fun yelling at each other, and not in a bad way. Cole hits Kirk with a nasty air raid crash through a chair. there was a viral spot that where both stood on a door propped up in the corner, and Kirk hits a pile driver on Cole. This is awesome chance breakout. Kirk throws a chair at Cole and it fired him up. Kirk then hits a surprise psycho driver for the win. This was a match where fans they stood quickly to cheer right after. I thought it was great. Yeah, that spot where they were standing up on the door in the corner was absolutely hilarious. And somebody mentioned something about it in the negative, and Kirk just played it. He's like, "Yep, that was cool." So hey,
yeah, something about like perfect
GCW.
timing. That was a perfect time to drop on it for that pile driver as the tables collapsed, and so he did it still perfectly. I like this match. Like I said, I wouldn't have mind seeing it go a little bit longer, a little bit more violence would have suited what I was kind of expecting for this match. But other than that, these two meshed well and connected, and they hit a home run. I'm just kind of shocked at Kirk picking up the victory. I think that's a big momentum builder and kind of hurts Cole a little bit with the little singles push and grabbing the brass ring. So maybe that will kind of help lead us towards what is going to happen, maybe with the Garbage Daddies and Cole Radrick and that brass ring. I'm excited, but like I did not expect Kirk to win. So good for him.
So after this match, there was an awesome video compilation of all the tournament of survivals. I just hope we never forget we came from deathmatch and rose to the top. As the kings of independent wrestling, it's GCW's responsibility to make their death matches the best and most well thought out matches they can be. So it was a great reminder to sit there and watch all of these greats that we've had pass through our wrestling ring over all of these years. And all that video did was make me want to watch those shows.
I saw the TOS with Atticus and Alex Colon. I was like, I need to go back and check out 6. Then I saw Drew Parker jumping off the ladder onto Tremont in 7. Like, I gotta go. Like, literally, I was like, after that little package, I was like, I kind of might do a little marathon here before TOS 8 again, like how I did last year. Just watch all the TOSs before and just get me hyped and get the violence going, because those are fun, checking out the old ones. I get a lot more happier seeing the old ones and kind of seeing where we're going, but it's cool seeing a lot more non-US names, a lot new names come in from overseas and seeing them ball out and seeing different kind of ultra violent death matches than what we're used to seeing. It's been awesome. But yeah, that video package was well done. And I like, yeah, it made me want to go back and check them out too, just like how you said. So it's kind of funny you had the same reaction that I did. All right, our next matchup of the evening is a tag team match, as it is the team of Bangin' Matthews going against Grim Reaper and Ruckus. I wrote that this was a fun tag team match. Another, like, the cards kind of started off like a little slowly, and it's like building. It's kind of like a very traditional card where like it's just building up to the ending. And so I was kind of liking how the card was going out at that point. I loved it. I loved the match. Seeing Bang Brothers get a chance to go in the ring against Ruckus and Legends in Ruckus and Grim Reaper was awesome. And I liked during the middle, Jimmy Lloyd coming out on behalf of Cardona to get rid of the joint from Reaper was a fun little touch during this match. And I just think these are two very creative teams, and they both shined tonight and showed how innovative they are as singles wrestlers and as tag wrestlers.
So I wrote here that we know both teams well. I felt this is a generational clash. We also had the Midwest versus the East Coast here. Excuse me, I'm clearing my throat on this one. You guys don't want to hear that. I see two veterans boosting younger talent and giving them a nice shine here. I know enough of Grim and Ruckus to know they're selfless in-ring with younger talent, so I definitely give them that credit. I was laughing that Reefer has Adam Galt loaded with a joint and lighter. Before Reefer can fire it up, Broski Jimmy comes out and steals the joint. We're informed by Emil that Cardona won't allow narcotics in the Cardona era. Boo. Popeye is without his spinach tonight. We've spoken previously on how many similarities Reefer and Ruckus have. If you have a chance, maybe go back a couple episodes and check it out. There was like 2-3 minutes there of things. It's like they came up together like twins. Bangin' Matthews were looked at as heels because everyone loves Reefer and Ruckus, but Bangin' Matthews hit Spears Tower on Grim Reaper for 3. The fans weren't necessarily happy. Reefer and Ruckus give Bangin' Matthews their respect, and fans were happy again. So there was a little manipulation. Otherwise, fans really do love Bangin' Matthews a lot here, but I mean it's Grim and Ruckus. How you gonna go
On the
against
East
them?
Coast. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's just not gonna happen.
Good tag team match. Like I said, I was happy for Bang Matthews to get in the ring with those legends, and any chance we could see Ruckus. After seeing him live and in person, man, like, he can still go. I want to see him a little bit more often in GCW now. Next match of the evening is one called Manders going against Pero. This was one I was really looking forward to all night, just because the last time they were in Philly, these two were some of the MVPs of the collective weekend, and two that we have been kind of begging for to get pushed a little bit more on the shows. And we got to see that. And I was glad that they got a little again, little showcase spotlight match against each other after all the hard work they did, and they both delivered. And this is the Pero I want to see. This is the monster, and this is the Manders just overcoming the monster. Like, this was a brawl, and I know you loved it with just as much as we both love the big guys. And yeah, I see your first note here, so I will let you go over. I don't want to take your note there.
My first note: Haas fight. Fans really like Manders. I do too. Singing "Wanted Dead or Alive" by Bon Jovi is always fun. A quick reminder also that Sawyer Wreck is still sidelined, and we want to wish her a speedy recovery. Manders' chance started early in this match. Pero, though, still dominated early, working on Manders' shoulder. It was impressive seeing Pero pick up Manders, walk around with him comfortably, and then toss him over his head. Fans were getting tons of fan support. I'm sorry. How did I wrote that there? I guess I wrote that wrong. Let me see what I put here. Tons of fan support. He's working Manders over. Oh, Manders was getting tons of fan support as Pero was working Manders over. Manders with a huge superplex. The ring bounced under their weight. Let's go Manders from the fans as Pero keeps coming back. Manders with a huge lariat. Pero still kicks out at two. Pero's getting heat on every punch and kick he's hitting on Manders, and I thought that was just awesome heat. Manders connects with a second lariat and pins Pero for three. Those lariats are deadly, and it doesn't matter the size, was what I wrote there as the finish. What are you thinking?
Yeah, good match. As you said, your first note, Haas fight. That's exactly what we got, and I was excited. Like, I was just excited for both of them just to be able to go back to the place that they kind of killed it all weekend long a couple weeks ago, and kind of get more of a showcase on what they could do one-on-one. And they both balled out, and I was happy to see it. It kind of, I like how they keep on mentioning the rich and powerful here. I wonder if something that's going to come about here, because it kind of seems like it was going, and then it just kind of stopped hard all of a sudden. And then now they might start picking it up. So I'm hoping that's the case, because whatever Pero, Mason, and Richard Holiday have been doing have been awesome. And I think they do have a nice little place out here to cause a little bit more distress under Cardona's management in GCW.
And this is a great spot to just mention it. Thank you for the video packages during intermission. We get them again. Quick talk. We wanted those for various reasons. Like having something to watch during intermission, or having the opportunity to catch up on the storyline, or just making the wrestling in the ring look cool. Any of those work. Maybe it highlights a talent or a match to expand on its importance now. It ups the professionalism of the overall product and looks more planned out versus flying by the seat of your pants. So I think every single thing we challenge GCW to do in this arena of giving us video packages, they've completely knocked it out of the ballpark.
That's what video package was shown there? Because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it was just a series, because it was like the little intermission area. So they were kind of like rolling through
I remember
past
now,
videos. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean,
I did notice that too. Like, after we kind of were saying, like, hey, show those videos, we're getting like not just videos after every matches, but like they're just kind of constantly going. And yeah, the intermission, I guess that's why I didn't recognize there was like no timer or something like that, but at least it was still going and got us to watch something during that time.
Yeah, if you're a new watcher, I mean, to the show, it gives you a lot to bite on, so you can kind of slowly catch up.
Yeah. All right. Our next matchup is Marcus Mathers going against Mance Warner. I love the Mance promo. It was nice of him to mention what Marcus has been accomplishing outside of GCW lately in Japan. I think that upped the importance. in my eyes, as much as it did, I think some other fans too, this is a big match for Marcus to go against Mance at this time. And I think it was a good time for him to go against Mance because of all the accomplishments that Mance mentioned already. And that was kind of good. Like, he built up his opponent. So that way, like, if he beats him, it doesn't seem like, oh, he just beat some kid, Marcus Mathers. It was a good heel work there. Like, you build up your opponent so that way when you do win, it means something. If you do lost, it means you lost to someone nice and tough. So I was very happy with that promo. And yeah, I love the little kid getting involved. Of course, I had a little thing like that with my son. So seeing that on GCW was awesome. It was a little scary there with Mance with that screwdriver with that little kid. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I think he was like, kick me one more time, see what happens with this. So I enjoyed it. I thought this was a very good matchup overall. Great step up here for Marcus. Told a great story. The kid, I think, lent more to the animal and the sadistic side of Mance Warner as of late. And I think it being in Marcus Mathers' hometown of Philly, I always forget that's his hometown, even though he wears those cool, like, red, old school Philly logos pants. I always forget that he's from Philly. So I appreciated that. And he definitely stepped up. And I think that we're now starting to get the Marcus that we've been kind of wanting to see lately as well after this matchup with Mance.
Yeah, this 2024 Marcus is much stronger than 2022 or 2023 Marcus by far. And it's that upward trajectory that I think we're both really happy to see there.
Yep.
Alrighty. So I wrote here that Mance is out first, interestingly, but Mathers is the hometown hero, so it makes sense that he's second. The 13-time champion walks around the ring. I live for these interactions. I'm thinking, who is he fucking with tonight? It's all a referee who separates Mance from the fans. If it gets heated, I feel like that gives it just a touch of realism, even if it's not. Then there's that little kid you were just talking about. He wanted to slap 5 with Mance. He doesn't let him. Fans start booing. You can kind of see the little kid look around at his dad for approval, and you see his dad kind of give a thumbs up, and you see that little kid give the littlest middle finger you've ever seen. It actually cracks Mance just for a minute. You can see him smile there. It was funny. Mance forces Emil to announce him as the future GCW champion, Mance Warner. One fan is protesting Mance talking by turning his back on the ring. I don't know if you saw that one on hard cam. He was not very happy about, he was serious about Mance Warner. He did not like him there. Mance calls all Philly fans marks. He says marks watch death matches on TV and think they can do it too. Calls Philly a shithole, mentions ECW and says it's dead. Fuck ECW, fuck you, Marks, fuck Philadelphia. Mance wants to put over Marcus Mathers. He said Marcus got a jacket with Ribera, says that anyone can get those jackets now. He's not wrong. Mance introduces Marcus's father and little bro. You're going to have to go over there with your resume and be like, dude, you know? But yeah, I was laughing. Mance introduces Marcus's father and little brother. The kid has his little finger up like it's broken that way. Manders threatens to break Mathers right in front of his dad and his little brother. So that is where Marcus's music hits. Marcus comes out in a green Japan jersey. It's Yamada jersey number 1. He's a 5-time champion. Mance throws a man's phone. Dude goes off, but in the best way. He keeps it fun and clean. There's no threat of being an asshole. He also had Mance chuckling for a minute. What I wrote here was the guy, he got his phone thrown and he was like, I can't believe blah, blah, blah. He's going to kick your ass. You're da 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 da. And like, he was selling it. He was not mad, and it even made Mance kind of chuckle just for a minute. You'd have to kind of go back and watch it, but it's like the guy took it really well and obviously got his phone back because Mance walked around the ring at the end of the match and he had his phone again. So
seeing Mance though interact with some of these fans, like when he was first doing it, was a little bit scary because like these fans were getting up in his face and Mance has to like sit there and protect his character. But like lately, I kind of now see who he's kind of interacting with lately, and we kind of know some of these names. So whenever I do see that, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. At least that person knows to give it back to Mance, and Mance like feels safe enough that that person is not going to come after them, hopefully. But it is nice seeing the interactions with some of these fans that we are familiar with in GCW universe out there.
Yeah, you know, again, that's that small family thing There's a lot of familiar faces that show up on a lot of these East Coast shows that I've talked to quite a few times. Both wrestlers fight around the ring area. I feel like I'm getting a better view of the venue. I'd love to see that camera in the ring idea that I had, where if it was the beginning of the show, it kind of looks around. So, especially in a new venue, it would look awesome. Mance's crowd work is incredible, especially mid-match. His Mid-South is showing, and I love it. You can hear fans randomly yelling at Mance, so his heel persona is way over. Mance threatens Marcus's dad and little brother that he's going to cut up Marcus. Mance knocks down referee Perch. He's out. Marcus is also out. Mance goes to cut Marcus, and in comes Marcus's little brother. He hauls off with heavy punches and kicks, but Mance is unfazed. Marcus's dad steps in the ring and kicks Mance in the dick. Marcus covers for 2. So that's where we were at there. Mance stabs Marcus in the head with the screwdriver. He then hits an implant DDT and covers Marcus for the win. What a crazy little match. Again, this is one of those ones where it was just cool to see the little kid in the ring sitting there just throwing punches and kicks. So it was fun. It was a family thing.
I think it told a great story too. And like,
Yeah.
there was like, it felt like there was a lot going on for just like a normal match between two wrestlers. But like with Mance, it kind of very further elevated his character, but I think it also lended some love towards Marcus his way too, with the little brother getting involved. I just thought this was brilliantly done all over to help advance the story and help everyone like Marcus and his and Mance Warner out as well. But his dad, I swear to God, I thought that was his brother. Like he just looked so young, and like I was like, whoa,
right?
Dad, what? And then I forget, like, oh, Marcus is still young too. But man, like when they said dad, I was like, that's his brother. Like that's his little brother. That's his big brother. That cannot be his dad. But holy shit, yeah, Mark Angel looked good at his age.
Yeah, there's something in the water out there they're drinking that's just working so well. But I think about it. I'm 44. My son's 19. And I had him when I was 25. So I guess if you think about it, you can look young. I don't, but you can look moderately young at his age and have a kid that age. That's amazing though.
Yeah.
He looks like they look like they're like 10 years apart.
He looked like he's still going the ring. Like that's how I thought. Like when I saw him get in the ring, I'm like, oh, he's gonna take a bump. Like he's gonna get old school style here from Mance.
I think all three should go. I think this should be a 3-generation thing.
Well, here we go. Like Great One said, I think one day we will see the trios of Mark Angel, Marcus Mathers, and Cody Mathers against Mance Warner, Steph Delander, and Baby Mance. What? All right. Next matchup is Steph Delander with Broski Jimmy by her side, going against Cheeseburger. Oh, actually, before we go there, I guess we could talk about Cardona's promo first, because I actually wrote some notes before I even got to that match.
Yeah, we could talk about that. All right. So Cardona comes out. We want Chelsea chants. It's been a while since I've heard that chant. He gets thrown off a touch by a fan. It had me laughing. Cardona said the doctor, he said he may not wrestle again, but he will be back. Fans are chanting, we want weed. Cardona says, and again, another viral video, there's no hope with dope. Cardona's a great GM in my eyes. He offers to buy Jimmy Ann's SDL Rolexes. Cardona asks, who wants to have sex with Jimmy Lloyd? Fans answer, you do. SDL grabs the mic, says Rocky Balboa is a loser, calls Tasha a loser for being called to lose somewhere else that night. Jimmy, who the fuck is Cheeseburger, she says. I'll tell you a little bit about Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger's had 12 years in ring from Trenton, New Jersey, 4 titles to his name, and he's the current LOL citywide champion. Veda called this an enhancement match. What? She straight up said this is an enhancement match.
Well, you got to go along with the squash match there from Cardona. I think Veda did a really good job on commentary. Like I wanted to make a note of it. I don't know if I have it later on, but man, like she killed it on commentary during this show. I loved everything she did as well.
Well, Cheeseburger had Jimmy and SDL in double paradise locks later in the match. I thought that was pretty cool. I hadn't seen that in years. Referee Scarlett can't get Jimmy out of the ring. A dance-off was announced mid-match. SDL tags Jimmy in, and Jimmy dances kind of. Cheeseburger starts dancing, finishes with the Burger-Rooney. Fans chant, "You got served." It feels like it's the 90s. Scarlett is next. Her and Cheeseburger does the dance that Kid and Play made famous in like the 80s or 90s. Cheeseburger and Scarlett with double clotheslines. Scarlett's getting chants. SDL winning and the extra beef chant had me laughing so hard. So SDL uses the belt to hit Cheeseburger for the win. All right. So yeah, Cardona said the match went longer than he expected. I thought that was a little interesting too. You wanted me to go to all the way to the end, or did you have something to say before that?
I'll just hop on real fast. We were kind of talking about it earlier. Here's where I wrote that in the notes about Cardona with the GM. Like, I know everyone's kind of hating him and hating what he's doing to GCW in that role, but I love like the little wrinkle that it's providing. It's like kind of freshened up some new ideas and new life in GCW. So I love what he's been doing as GM. Same note as I do. I always am happy to see Cheeseburger in a GCW ring. So I was happy to see him get this match against SDL. Seeing Scarlett get physically involved was surprising during this match, and I just love how after the close, like she's like, no, stop. Like she has to like pat herself down and like, I'm good, I'm done, no more. Like, don't let this be about me. And she's usually not one that's like that, but it was kind of nice. And being able to see all the referees lately get involved in some form or another matches has been fun to see in GCW. And yeah, I love the segment after the match. But I will go on to my thoughts about that after we go over what was said.
Well, Cardona said the match went longer than he expected. He goes into the ring to join the rest of the team to beat on Cheeseburger. Joey runs in to save poor Cheeseburger. Cardona and Joey end up going back and forth. Joey says he wants Cardona to grant him a match for the GCW World title against Blake Christian at Cage of Survival. He said Joey gets the shot if he can win against the next opponent that came out. What were your thoughts?
I don't want to see Joey get another shot against Blake. Like,
really?
I don't know. I don't want to see this rehash again. I don't know. Like, I wrote, love the segment, but I don't really want to see Joey get the next title shot. I hate having these rematches so soon, especially when there are more deserving opponents as of late.
Wow, listen to you. Okay. So let's talk because you're against it. So you do have other ideas. Who else do you have in place that you're like, hey, you know what? I'd like to see them kind of. Who are you thinking?
I don't know. Like, Joey's not the one right now because, like I said, they just wrestled 6 weeks ago against each other. I hate seeing like the rematch so soon in GCW when there's so much different talent that's being used that you could have different matchups and stuff. I don't know at the current point, to be honest with you, I don't know who I would have take the belt off of Blake. Somehow or one another, I'd have Effie or Mansoor do it just because that's the story that's being told. But that's where I go to. They're not building like a story for Blake over the last couple of weeks until now with Joey. And I just think that this is already something that's been 3, 4, 5 months that's been happening. Joey's had his chance. He lost. I want to see someone new get it. I wouldn't mind seeing an Alec Price, a Cole Radrick, a COS winner, somebody. Joey's just too soon. And for me right now, I don't like the way they worded it, that if this is not like, this is his last chance if he doesn't win. Like, if Joey wins, cool. And I know we were kind of talking about, you were talking about this with some other people online, but okay, if Joey wins, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my dog's going crazy. Then you can have Mance Warner come out and beat Joey, and then Effie and Mance start COS somehow, some way. But I don't know how to get to that point. In my opinion, I just don't think Joey's the right one right now to be the GCW World. Like, if you weren't going to do it at Collective, like, that was your chance, and I would have been cool with it. And I think I even said that, like, that you had your opportunity to do something really cool. Now it's like, I don't know what to do with the world title. Like, I would build up and have another feud going that's not Joey, I guess is who I would say. I don't know. Like, Broski Jimmy makes a lot of sense. Well, I guess not him being the heel, but I'm just trying to think. Like, Faith Jordan still makes sense to me, even though I know he had his chance, but that was October. That wasn't 6 weeks ago. That was 6 damn months ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would have been building up a baby face at this point, get a couple wins behind, get like some sort of verbiage during the match of building momentum to beat Blake. But I don't think that they've been doing that as of late. And I don't know. I got disappointed when I saw Joey, when I heard Joey's name come out and challenge for Blake. I was like, that's not the one I want to see right now.
And we're opposite. That's crazy. This is one of those things. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we put Joey in the role because he came out in the leather jacket. I thought maybe he's going to be Stone Cold, and then we'll put Cardona in the evil Vince McMahon kind of thing, where we have the, you know, the evil overlord, and then we have the everyman fuck you guy, because everyone loves Janela. You know what I mean? Every GCW fan would. So I wonder if they're going to do maybe a Stone Cold Vince McMahon thing here. You know, I'm the guy who runs this. I'm the one who does this. You have to do this. Yeah, and Joey's like, fuck you, Stone Cold style, fuck you. He doesn't let anybody keep him in a, you know, and it's possible. We'll see what happens. But see, that's just me. That's just me growing up in the 90s.
It makes sense.
I'm trying to
not
think
excited for it. I'm just not excited for Joey to be the next challenger after he was just the last challenger. Again, well, not the last one if you count Danhausen and stuff, but like that's what I mean. Like I just feel like this whole time they've kind of failed on. They did a good job building Joey up, but that didn't need much building up to have a feud. I just think there's not been a consistent feud for almost one fucking year of his title run almost coming up, as you mentioned on a tweet I saw. So I hope you're right on that one. I'm throwing you under the bus if you're wrong. But it does feel like COS when he won the belt. But I just think like during this whole time, the one complaint I've had with Blake's title run is there's not been a feud. There's not been a story. There's been one story. That's Joey. And that's just happened. And then now we're going to go right back to it. It's just, for me, frustrating to see when there's other names out there that they could have been built up. Alec Price, Cole, Jordan, Speedball, even like some names, some baby face names, some names that we all like and enjoy could have been built during this time to challenge for Blake and got me more invested. I'm not invested in Joey versus Blake part 2 or 3, whatever chance this is for Joey against Blake. And I get like it makes sense history wise, Joey's history with Cardona, blah blah blah. Like, okay, I did like that part, like how they did go back to that, but Joey getting the next shot at title is not for me, man. I'm sorry, like, and I love Joey. I don't think he's right. Like they should have done that collective, in my point.
Gotcha.
I don't know. That's just me.
I'm so sorry, man. I love you. This is it happens. And every now and then, I feel like this is years in the making. I see what you're saying. I kind of wonder if that was maybe the first test run of them having a match and then they go, all right. But I see what you're saying. If you're going to pull off a big firework, it should have been at the big show that we just had
spring
recently.
Break. He won. Yeah. He won WrestleMania Collective. Then now you could have been building up Broski Jimmy to challenge Cardona or challenge Joey at this point. Like, but I don't know. I don't think Cardona was hurt back then. I think maybe that's when he was starting to get. Oh no, he got hurt after that because he did have his match with Blue Cane. But I don't know. I just think there could have, the timing for me is not right, and the person that they're picking is not right. At least we got a story heading out here now, but I just wish there could have been something over these especially since Blake's been gone. Like I've used these last couple of weeks. He's been in Japan to build up a next challenger, but unfortunately, I'm not getting my way, so I will cry about it in my own corner.
Hey, that's okay, man. It's always weird when you and I are kind of off on these things, but I just feel like it's years in the making, and we have went through it with Blake storyline wise for the last year. So I'm waiting for a hero, because all our championships are gone or they're in heels' hands, and it's like I need a hero.
I actually wouldn't even mind seeing like Rena be the one that take it off Blake somehow, but then like that goes back to like how we were talking about this whole card has no champions, and then that goes back to our other conversation. Like, I just feel like what I bitch about has been connected to other things that I bitch about, and it all like still equals out to the same conversation that we've had months ago. Is like, you have our extreme title champion. How many times has she defended that since she's been champion? After how many months? We have our ultraviolet champion. How many times has she defended that in an ultraviolet setting over her title reign? Like, I just feel like what's been missing is still missing, and that's what's kind of hurt Blake in this. And now that Blake's gone, like there's been nothing to do. And then now, he might be coming back. Let's start this now with Joey, and it's just going back rehashing same old shit that we just saw 6 weeks ago.
I'm so sorry, man.
Like I said, I'll cry about it with
no,
Joey
I get
wins. And if Joey wins at COS, I just hope I just hope it's like one of those flash ones where they could do something with Mance and Effie, or at least Mance or Cole or something. Like I don't know, some flash win. I don't. I just don't know what he could provide as a champion to GCW that he is not providing right now, getting the big stars and having the same matches, except now the title's on the line. He could do all those things without the title and still use that title to build up other younger talent in independent wrestling in GCW, I think.
Well, I still say Joey and Gage, I would like to know what's in their contracts when it comes to being a GM or not being told what to do or whatnot, because I'm sure somebody like Gage is very smart. And when he sat down with, with Brett and had their talk about their contract, they probably wrote in there something like Gage said, I ain't going to take no shit from anyone kind of thing. So I don't know.
I'm excited to see what could happen and what possibly can happen, but I'm just not excited to see Joey possibly winning the title. That's all. But I'm excited for everything else happening outside of all that stuff, like with Cardona's GM, Nick Gage, Joey possibly being the champion of the company that he's pretty much quit every other company for. So he says. So I don't know. Like I guess I should give it a chance, as like I always do, but.
Please do.
Yeah, I know.
I was really surprised you were. I was really surprised you were so against it. That was kind of new to me. I'm like, wow, hey, that hit me sideways. Wow.
All right. Well, should we go on to the next match? Or
yes, sir. No. Okay. I am so surprised. I'm good. Right. I'm ready to roll.
Well, since Joey's in the ring, and as Cardona said, if Joey can beat the next opponent, then he could have the next title shot. And here's where I could bitch about a little bit more, but I'm going to save that bitching because I did enough already. Megan Bayne comes out and not representing, but on behalf of Matt Cardona to challenge Joey Janela for this match. And I think Prazak called it best, what we've seen just in Bayne in that first match, but then also like a little bit during the second match is when he said it, like Bayne has been impressive. She's got the aura. She's got like really good in ring. Like I have seen her in ring before, but I think she's just constantly improving and showing off her strength and doing better moves. And this match against Joey was one of these matches that could make her star. And I said, Joey made her star this night. Joey made her look really good, sold for her. She delivered at all the crazy danger spots, and she was throwing Joey Janela 2 around to make herself look good. Like she has answered every strike. Like she's fit in. If we had like some sort of women's title right now, she'd be like right up there because she's came in and made an imprint in just her 2 short matches in GCW. So I have just been very impressed with her. And I was like I had the same thought going through my mind, and then Prazak said it. So I just wanted to mention that. And I really liked the match. It was awesome. It was a really good one until the fucking end.
It happens that way. All right. My notes here. Yeah, Megan was a surprise opponent. The 2-time champion looks amazing with all of her gear. She's strong and impressive. I have plenty of high hopes going into this match for her. Joey's a 30-time world champion and the current Vanguardia Extraordinario champion, 585 days running. I felt like this could have easily been a championship match of some sort, and it proved that Megan can easily hang with the men. I like seeing her in a match with Joey so early because that's a good sign to me. My next note, holy shit, she's taller than Joey. This is great. I knew she was strength and power, but her size is impressive also. I got Beth Phoenix vibes off of her, and maybe it's the headband also, but just the total package. Given their efforts, I'm sure they were both sore the next day. It was a very bumpy match between those two. Megan's tope was an absolute missile. Fans started turning towards Megan mid-match. Fuck him up, Megan. Fuck him up. I think fans forgot Joey's trying for a championship shot. We had Let's Go Megan chants. Broski Jimmy hits the ring with Steph DeLander and Matt Cardona. They attack Joey, and the match gets ruled a no contest. I definitely went through a lot of the details in this one. This match went almost 19 minutes. I did this on purpose to say you just need to go watch this match. It is very, very good. And to me, again, I wouldn't have been surprised if I blindly walked into this and was told a championship was on the line, because they fought like something important was going down and both showed up amazingly.
Yeah, like I said, I've never seen Bane work this kind of match and this like extensive and excellently executed match with Joey. Like it was phenomenal, like I said, for both of them. And I just hate the ending with it getting tossed out. So technically Joey didn't win,
Yeah.
so he shouldn't be getting the title shot anyway, damn it. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what to go off of that. Just like how just impressive how Bane's been. Like that's why I kind of like that goes along with what I'm saying. Like Joey doesn't need to be champion. He can still have these matches, elevate his opponents, have a real good viral match that's getting talked about, and showcase his talent and to get 20 minutes. Doesn't need to have the belt on the line. He could still be doing everything he's doing now without the champion being involved. And then now I think that just opens up another possibility for another wrestler to kind of get those kind of shine and pushes and rubs to go against the world champion or to challenge against the champion. But overall, I was impressed with this match too. I think Bane stepped up and Joey delivered another classic match like he always does.
Well, there was an impressive spot that I really liked. That was when Megan and SDL got into a stare down with each other. Fuck her up, Megan. Fuck her up, Chance. Broski Jimmy then was down. Megan and SDL run off to the back. This leaves Cardona and Joey in the ring together. Janela backs Cardona in the corner. He's scared and says Joey can have his match at COS 3. So now it's been announced we have Joey Janela versus Blake Christian, COS 3 for the GCW World Champion. I felt that both Joey and Megan put on a great performance and they should be proud. Looking back, I feel like this was one of the better matches of the night. Definitely one of the most hard hitting. Broski Jimmy lays on the mat injured while Cardona looks over him. I'll stop here because that kind of puts us into the next match. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we kind of moved on?
That stare down from SDL and Megan, I think was a pretty cool like future setup, and like that kind of showcased how SDL was still even taller than Megan, which I thought was shock to me. But I just think Megan is light years ahead of SDL in the ring, and like when I kind of saw that showdown, I was kind of like, Megan was kind of looking at STL like, hey, like this could be you. We got the same size, but I'm way better in the ring because I'm not dealing with Cardona while Cardona's holding you back by making like you like his lackey and his manager and stuff. Like that's kind of what I saw during that showdown. Like kind of like that's what played out in my mind to tease a future match between the two. And I think it would be pretty cool match just because of the size of both of them. And like I said, Megan though is just impressive in the ring. Like STL's good in the ring. She's okay for like what she does a character, and like I think she does more character work than her in ring, which is fine. But man, Megan just in 2 matches have showcased her in ring talent way more than I expected, and kind of seen her in other promotions. So that was just the one thing I saw with that one. And like I said, I love Deathmatch Royalty being all over the card, Cardona being used, Jimmy being used a lot more than what he would have been. But damn, you don't got to ruin that 18, 19-minute match, especially when you have that stipulation on at the end. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't like how they got into it, but that's one little note that I wrote. And I just like so far how all like these last couple matches have all just turned right into each other, kind of like how they were doing for a little bit. And I like how they all blended together. So that was another cool little consistent booking and pacing of the matches throughout the rest of the night. And I enjoyed how they all kind of blend together. It kind of makes it feel like all these stories are at some way in another kind of melting into each other and kind of affecting each other. And I think that's a cool feeling to have as a wrestling fan, because every single match could affect something else in the future. And it makes you pay attention a little bit more as a fan, I think.
I would 100% go for another Bane Janela rematch.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. Like that was their first time hitting gloves. I'd love to see a second or third just to see what they can do, because I had high hopes for her, and this was well beyond even that. And now I'm happy to hear you're the same way. I thought it was maybe just me. I'm like, wow. So hopefully we have something there, but from the top of the mountains on my side and your side, we're like more. She's awesome.
I've seen like a couple matches that she did overseas in Japan. I forgot for which company, but she was like on the. I think it was No, I don't think it was Stardom because it was in a card with a bunch of other people, but maybe it was. I don't know. But like I saw her like wrestling for like the oh my god, Beyond. Like I've seen her
Yeah.
wrestle there more than anywhere else, and like she's like looked impressive. But like when I saw her in Stardom and she's doing all these moves, like moves I've never seen her do, and I think that just goes to along to the Stardom talent. And we've kind of talked about them when they came out here, how they kind of seem light years ahead of our independent women with their look, like their presentation as their character, the music, the dance, the move set, the wrestling, the psychology, like everything's been so good. And I think that's what's helped Megan. And now she gets to showcase what she learned over there out here. And that's just put her on a whole nother level in my eyes. And it's just cool to see that wrestlers when they go out and they see, we get to see the improvement when they come back.
Yeah, I ended up doing a lot of research on her, and I found out that a lot of fans feel that once she went over to Japan, that's when her game really kicked up. So there's another story of another performer from America going to Japan and then really upping their game.
Yep.
So cue Tupac's music and out comes Zilla Fatu. Cardona leaves the ring as he was going to anyway. And Zilla enters. Zilla picks up Jimmy and slams him. The bell rings and we have a match.
And it is Zilla Fatu going against Broski Jimmy. Yeah, another big match for Zilla in his short career. Jimmy was getting some Dom heat. Like every time he talked or did anything, like he was getting Dominic Mysterio heat. And I thought that's cool because especially it happened in Philly, and the Philly crowd out east, they all loved Jimmy. And for him to kind of get the heat where I thought he was going to be kind of like the sympathetic baby face of this group, kind of how he started off with, but now he's kind of dove full on into this Cardona or this Broski Jimmy, and his mic work as a heel has been very impressive, and it just totally destroys what I was thinking of him turning face on Cardona. But I just think that means Cardona's done really good work with Broski, and Jimmy's done the work himself to get himself over as a heel. And I just thought it was kind of cool hearing as much nuclear heat as he was getting that night as from what I was hearing.
Well, Jimmy was down momentarily and Zilla goes outside almost immediately and starts building a door bridge. We know how door bridges go when it comes around Zilla. Well, that door bridge got built. Jimmy is back and alive again. There were two fun chants that I wrote down here. Let's go Zilla, fuck you, Jimmy, and Jimmy fucking sucks. Thought that was pretty good. Zilla was throwing Jimmy through a chair propped into the corner, falls to the outside onto the door bridge. Zilla to the top rope and a huge splash on top of Jimmy through those doors that we were just talking about. Back to the ring, Zilla with a Samoan spike to Jimmy that causes him to do a backflip. The match ends quickly at the 6-minute mark. Our winner here, Zilla Fatu. What are your thoughts on this one?
Another big win. Like I think like for Zilla, he's been impressive. This was another step up and another big talent. He's wrestling in GCW, and he's still just 100 miles an hour, balls to the walls, no care at all for jumping out through a door, driving through chairs. Like he's just crazy. And I love seeing it because that's what we loved kind of about Jacob Fatu. And I see in a lot of Jacob Fatu and Zilla has been awesome to see at his young age. And I like throughout, like when this match was kind of going on, I was kind of like, Zilla had like a one-on-one with the camera, like got right into the camera's face and like just expressed himself and screamed. And like, I think it might've been after that table spot. I don't know, but just seeing his face in the camera, I immediately clicked in my mind. I was like, we need to get a feud for Zilla. Like if we're going to have him, we're going to use him. Let's start using him properly. Let's get a feud going. And I know we're about to get into it. I get my wish later on here. So like 2 minutes later, after I was thinking that in my head, I kind of got my wish. So I was happy overall for this match and what it did. And yeah, very happy for what's about to happen, what you're about to say.
Well, this is the sad part, and then it goes into the good part. Murdoch comes out from the shadows and starts attacking Zilla. The bell tolls. Out comes Gage. Murdoch has a chair in his hands. He's waiting for Gage. Gage levels Murdoch. Fans are yelling, MDK, MDK, and Nick fucking Gage. Gage grabs the mic and challenges Murdoch to get Reed Bentley and fight him and Zilla next Saturday and take a picture in Chicago, Illinois. Tickets are still available. I like the idea of Zilla and Gage together. I really do. He gets the Gage rub, he gets the MDK rub, and also I think Zilla's style right now fits really well with Gage because it's a little looser. It's not a technical style as much. So I think that if we're going to put someone with Zilla, and I think that's the guy. What do you think?
Yeah, because he could go out there, take all the bumps while Nick Gage doesn't have to. But as you said, he gets the big rub off of Nick Gage just being his tag partner, Gage being the face of GCW. Now we get to see Zilla. Like, I actually thought when Zilla and Jacobs obviously showed up, I thought we'd be seeing a heel Zilla, but Jacob getting the call collective weekend to go up and Zilla now being left on his own. I think it's been kind of cool seeing a face Zilla and seeing we still see the intensity and like his ferociousness as like his family name. You see it in him, but like you also see him at such a young age, just enjoying it and having fun as a face and getting the heel work. But I think that's also been kind of what the fans have been loving, is just seeing him go crazy, just embracing the GCW mentality and the GCW style of wrestling. And yeah, if he's going to be keep on working in GCW, Nick Gage is a perfect opponent or perfect teammate, and John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley are the perfect opponents because, as you said, it's not going to have to be a technical masterpiece or a work rate of 1 billion and no missed spots. Like, we're seeing him working at his pace, but also showcasing his violence. And I think it's been really cool to see. But now we get this feud with him and John Wayne Murdoch. And I think now gives him a sense of and a little purpose. And now we got something even more to invest in with Zilla. And I think John Wayne Murdoch is another good first feud for Zilla with a big name on his back and the history that he's had in GCW that could help further push Zilla in GCW, or kind of like expose him like in a good way of what the possibilities and like what is really the the word's skipping my head right now, but the potential of Zilla Fatu could be brought out in John Wayne Murdoch. So I'm really excited to see those two. And I think Zilla also could be pushed by himself without Nick Gage right now. I think it would be kind of cool to see him go and through this process by himself, without any of the bloodline or anything else, and see him kind of grow by himself. But Nick Gage teaming with him is a very smart move and a move I do like.
Well, he's paired with a veteran, and we have to be fair. That was Fatu's. No, yeah, that was his only 11th match ever. Career professional, so we'll cut the kid some slack here, but I'll be honest with you, not a lot of people are in their 11th match, and there's Nick Gage, and so I mean, he's been elevated quite nicely, and he looks young to me. I still see the young kid in him. You know what I mean? He just looks like an older 18-year-old or something. Like, he doesn't just looks like a young cat, and it's cool. All right, so here's who I was looking forward to seeing. Tony Deppin's music hits. We have the last 3 matches flowing seamlessly into each other, like you said. And I'm noticing here, Deppin looks like he's in excellent shape. Did you kind of notice a little bit there? He looks good, man. He looks happy. He looks good.
I wrote, yes. Like, this is the Tony Deppin I want to see. This is the entrance I want to see. The focus, the fuck all your shit. I'm not playing around and tossing your hat and smiling and laughing. Like, this was the Tony Deppin I've been asking to see for a while, and especially since his injury with Zack Sabre Jr. So I was right away happy and excited to see Tony in the peak performance that I like to see him in, and especially him kind of not wrestling GCW as often anymore. And as of late, seeing him get a main event match against Nick Gage was cool and awesome to see, and like something I kind of hope we see a little bit more of Tony going forward. But right away, before they even had any contact, I was bought in. I wrote, this is how you bring back and treat Tony Deppin after that classic match against Zack Sabre Jr. And I think that entrance felt like classic GCW, and I got so hyped after the Tony entrance, and I think that's what kind of got me involved with just seeing Tony's entrance. Got me way more involved than I think I would have been going into this main event.
All righty, you think we can rock this thing? You announced it, right? Or am I wrong here?
Nick Gage versus Tony Deppin, main events, most notorious.
Oh, hardcore match. All right, buddy. Emil announces both wrestlers and Adam Galt The fans were booing. Don't boo our ref. Adam is cool, but I get it, and I'm sure he does too. You can't like the guy who enforces the rules, especially at GCW. The bell rings and Tony starts with double feet to Nick's chest, sending him flying. Gage gains control almost immediately afterwards and send Deppen to the outside. He's beating Gage with a chair. Fans are participating. Deppen taunting and mocking the crowd. Fans are mad. It's definitely working. Deppen takes over the next few minutes. MDK chants finally awaken the beast. Gage with a DDT. Deppen is out. Gage grabs 2 doors, one with a fan, which seems like a popular choice since LA. Both are propped in their own corners in the ring. Deppen hits Death Valley driver on Gage through the first door. Deppen then grabs a chair, throws it in the ring, sets it up with another chair. This setup is always hard on the back, if you know what I'm talking about. They set the chairs up back to back on each other. Gage takes over, grabs Deppen, a nasty choke breaker on those chairs into a Falcon Arrow for 2. Gage exits the ring and goes back underneath. He's shopping for more weapons. Several chairs are thrown into the ring. 6 chairs are now set up like a table that you can walk on. Gage grabs Deppen. They do exactly that. Deppen reverses and flips Gage onto his back. Deppen's on the top rope. He jumps off. Gage puts a chair in the way and Deppen lands on it dick first. Gage runs and puts Tony through that other door. Gage grabs Tony. They get on top of those 6 chairs from earlier and he puts Deppen through them. Gage covers for 3 and there is our winner. In a little over 14 minutes, our winner here was Nick Gage. That was the ending to our first show. Not bad. 10 matches. That's one more than the average.
Like I said, I like how they built up throughout the night. It kind of started slow, built, and then we got that mad rush with those 4 matches at the end. And I thought this was a classic and great way to end a GCW show. It just felt like 2 regulars battling in there. Deppen taking all the crazy bumps that he took. Holy shit. This was like classic Tony, but I think he put on an epic performance. And I wrote, this is how you end a GCW show, with those 2 names fighting at the end of a GCW with all the carnage left in the ring. And I know I didn't really say much about Gage. Gage has just looked incredible, and this was another one of that. But I just kind of wanted to spend more time on Tony since we haven't seen him as of late, and just say how much he killed it this night. And I think this showcases what he brings to GCW if you put him in this kind of way. So I know he kind of tweeted out seeing a couple months here to someone else who said we need to see this kind of Tony again. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but if it is, I'm got a way better taste in my mouth now than when I did when Tony kind of came back after Zack Sabre Jr. So great performance and I think a great way to end the night. And like I said, I started off slow, but I was hyped and all into it at the end, and I left thinking this was a classic GCW show.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I really enjoyed a lot of it, period. There was not a lot of slow spots in this one whatsoever. Even with the main event in the beginning, it was just like, wow, Midas Black was on fire. It was just one thing after another in that first night. So yeah, I ended up watching that live and was very happy with the whole thing. And yeah, we got a full show. I think that was well over 3 hours.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oof.
All right, well, we'll go to a little bit shorter show now, as we are now going to go into GCW Sunday Night Special from the Mecca in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. And I was really excited for, I say this in a good and endearing way, I was really excited for the shit show to happen. I love these kind of GCW shows where literally it's a mystery. You don't know what's going to happen, and those are always so unpredictable and fun. I had a lot of Settlement Series vibes going into this card, and I definitely started with a smile on my face and left with a smile on my face.
So just our reminder here, there were no matches announced for this show. Only a talent were announced. So every match was a surprise, a complete mystery event, the Sunday Night Special, which I thought was a great idea. What did you think about that? Okay.
Oh, I loved it. Like I go back to Emo Night and like how only 2 matches were announced on Emo Night at Collective, but that's like one of the funnest cards I ever been into. Like you just don't know what to expect. And like when the wrestlers get to kind of tone it down and have some fun and take the seriousness out of it, I always enjoy that. And I we're good for Brett to do that about 4 times a year. So every time we do kind of get one of these silly shows, like I said, I was super excited and like really looking forward to it.
All right. So I'm going to give everyone just a little update or maybe just to catch up on the Mecca. The Mecca, aka the Ridgefield Park Knights of Columbus, aka Mecca Lecca High. We've been here before. You weren't ready for that, were you, Britt? Okay, yeah, Mecca Lecca High. Sorry, we've been here before. The two most recent shows were GCW's Holiday Special on December 21st, 2023, and JCW's Big Ass Extreme Birthday Bash on July 9th, 2023. The inside of the building has bright yellow walls with lantern-style lighting. There's a lot of older wood on the doors and lower half of some of the walls. There's a stage, and that's where production sits. A form of ceiling lighting that I can't think of the name gives a glow to the ceiling. Older wooden floors, simple blinds cover the tall windows. There's a curtain in the background that falls and needs to be retaped quite a few times. It was a Sunday show. So add this specific venue, and to me, it feels like a JCW show. It's a smaller crowd than the night before, more intimate. I still stand by going to these smaller shows if you want to meet people, or if you want to go out to a show without the bigger crowds. So that's my recommendations there. I'm a huge fan of those smaller Sunday shows. Brent, you don't mind either way, right?
No, like I said, like
you're
the
a merch
way that,
guy.
Yeah. I do like the venue though. I just feel like it's like I just go to Settlement Series. Whenever I see this place, I think of, I don't know why, I just think of the Settlement Series matches. But yeah, I enjoy this venue for what it is. I always expect a little smaller crowd, but it's kind of like the diehards of the diehards usually on these nights, and they're usually there or these afternoons, and they're just there to have a good time too. So I was happy.
So Emil's ready to kick everything off. I'm at the Mecca. I think the Mecca is in a beautiful New Jersey neighborhood. I actually checked it out on Google Maps. I wanted to see the outside because I've seen the inside so much. I definitely live in that little neighborhood. Grim Reaper was announced as commentary with a more relaxed and colorful Dave Prazak. Again, it's a smaller show, so it's a little more chill. He brings a joint for Dave to get his mind right. Dave declines the gift on air because of Cardona's rules, and he was very adamant about that. And
I love that.
Yeah, that was pretty good, right?
That was good. Yeah, so give Prazak a little camera time and have that little interaction and kind of go along with the story. I enjoyed everything about that.
So that leads us into our first match then.
All right. Well, before we even get to the first match, I love how Emil goes, I don't know what's happening, because he was handed a blank piece of paper. So I love that little twist at the beginning. And I just knew the shit show was going to happen, and I was excited for it, and it just got better. And our first match was Bang and Matthews going against the team of Braden Toon and Hunter Drake. I thought it was a great choice for a opening match. I know me and you, we both love all 4 of them, so I was really invested in this opening match, and they delivered. And I don't want to take your note, but I obviously enjoyed everything that happened from the opening bell on.
Well, before I get too far into this, I'm looking again. We have Toon and Drake, more New South talent. And I can definitely say I still feel like there should be maybe a batch of 4 or 5 of those guys, and they should form a stable like this generation's Young, Dumb, and Broke. So you'd have Toon maybe in Charlie Tiger's spot. You'd have Hunter Drake maybe in someone else's spot, so on and so forth. Maybe put Bobby Flacco in there, put a couple more of the New South kids in there. Yeah, give them a staple. Give them a stable. I mean, I think that would be kind of fun. So yeah, Bang and Matthews versus Toon and Hunter Drake. Both teams were in the ring. Referee Scarlett Donovan calls for the bell. Dave Prazak was waiting forever to ring the bell. He reaches over, and the sound of a gong rings throughout the Mecca. So tonight our bell is a gong. Everyone turns around and looks confused, even the wrestlers. I think it was a surprise to almost everyone. Dude, that had me laughing so fucking hard because it sounds like someone banged something shitty against the wall.
I just loved everyone's reaction. Like, it sounded like the record scratched at the bar, and everybody turned to look at who messed up. Who messed up that thing. And like, I just loved Bang's reactions. Like, really? Well, I'm down for whatever. Let's roll. Let's
Yeah,
go. Who cares?
that's
Like, he's just
GCW,
like, I
baby.
guess that's what exactly. I I loved it. And then once I heard the bell, I even got more excited, and the smile I don't think left my face the rest of the night. As you can see right now, I'm in tears crying just thinking about it. I loved it. It just fits in for GCW, one of these shit show Sunday shows, and I loved it.
So everyone in this match is 23 except for Toon at 21 years old. So this is a true
Whoa.
spotlight on younger talent, this opening match. You didn't know that, huh?
I didn't know Toon was 21.
Yeah, man.
Literal tears come from my eyes.
You could hear Toon chants early in the match, and for good reason. He was very impressive throughout the entire match. The standing backflip killed me, and I think Reefer was even surprised with that one. I put Matthews here as incredibly quick, deceptively so. Bang and Matthew used their tag team experience to gain the upper hand in the match whenever they could. A great example was when they pulled out the double octopus stretches. Hunter had a couple huge spotlights for himself. A sick tope was one of the highlights. Tons of high spots from him also. The match is going on while Emil's trying to fix the curtain that fell off the door. The three count is going down, and he's still fighting with it in the background, and it eventually drops. I feel that is so GCW. Bang and Matthews ended up winning here, and as like he's holding the thing and announcing the winner with the other hand, and then the whole damn thing drops. Oh, it's beautiful TV. It's totally GCW. Yeah, go back and look at that match, and you'll see, like, he's standing back there, and all of a sudden you'll just see the whole damn curtain. Like, he's fighting with it, then the whole damn thing drops, and you can see he's just like walks away from it. Hilarious. So yeah, that was our winner there. Any thoughts? Because Bang and Matthews are your guys, and I'm a big fan of Toon for sure. Drake has warmed up on me a lot. I've definitely broke bread with Drake ever since I was so odd to him at one point there. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to say? You're looking, aren't you?
I'm like putting it up. He's like, "What's happened? Oh shit!"
Yeah.
I totally missed that.
Emil's always pulling double duty. It just seems like that's how that is.
That was hysterical. No, I'm always like, I'm happy to see Bang Matthews being used as much as possible. Yeah, we became big fans. I became a fan of Toon after you. And then Hunter Drake grew on me after LA too. Like he's getting more impressive and improving his moveset and everything else. So I'm enjoying seeing those two team up. Yeah, I was nice to see like two young tag teams get the spotlight and get a chance to have a good tag match on GCW. I was excited for it, and I think they all delivered, and a fun opener. Good way to showcase young talent in the tag division for sure.
All right, so here's where we go into the next step of the show. Pantera hits over the loudspeaker, and Mance Warner comes out from the back. He's now on commentary, and Reefer is out. So someone yells, "Fuck you, Mance," and he stands up and yells back, "Fuck you, bitch." He's got to love being a heel. That is too damn funny.
So I wrote, he kind of overshadowed the next match for me. Like all my notes were on him. Like he is, as you said, loving the heel role. I don't know about you. I got Stone Cold vibes, like the heel Stone Cold. He's like just his cadence, the words, everything's been spot on. I wrote like, so we'll go to the next match because like most of my notes are on the next match, but on commentary as Mance was on it. Next match is Cole Radrick versus Mecca. Mance was on commentary. I thought he was amazing, and he sounds like literally me sometimes watching these watching wrestling sometimes. He's like just yelling at the fans, but yelling, "Don't do that!" Like he's just like yelling at the wrestlers. I just loved him. He sounded like what goes on in my head. It's like, why are you doing that, you stupid idiot? Like you should have known better than that. But I think he just shined in this one. It kind of reminds me of back when Effie was the judge at Settlement Series and how he kind of shined the whole night as a judge. This one, Mance kind of overshadowed a little bit Cole and Mecca, I think, in the ring. But the in-ring was awesome. It was a good match between both of them. And like I said earlier, Mecca's seeing the improvement on him is awesome to see. But Mance for me was the highlight of this segment, this match.
So Cole comes out with that brass ring around his neck. He looks at Mance and taunts him by touching his wrist like it's only a matter of time, Mance. Mecca comes out just as intense as he was the night before. He has good crowd work, plays a great asshole. Mance said he loves him multiple times. Here comes the fans with Cole Radrick's my favorite wrestler, one of my new favorite chants. I'm definitely going to start that one in LA when I get a chance. The Ratty Daddy chants were there. Mecca kept slapping Cole on top of the head, and Cole did not like that at all. Man, surprised the Mecca fans can count to 10. His heel work is so fun. I'm guessing that's one of the ones you may even thought about mentioning. Yeah, occasionally I could hear some form of talking underneath the commentary. Maybe production was bleeding through if you listen very carefully. Again, I listen on headphones, so I can hear a lot of that fun stuff. Mecca's intensity matched with physical abilities makes him a very formidable opponent for most. Mecca's 17 years of experience showed at times when he caught Cole's offense before it connected. No matter what Mecca did, Cole always bounced back. That's been the story of Cole, his heart always bringing him back from behind for the win. Cole with the stunner into Little Sebastian's curse for the win here. And that was a 8.5-minute match, and they packed a whole hell of a lot into it. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I like to at the end, man, sending, like as you said, kind of sending the warning to Cole, like, hey, or no, Cole did that to Mance, but Mance did that to Cole at the end, kind of like sending a warning, like, hey, you better watch it. Your boy Effie's gonna be getting it. And I just love, like, Mance was just awesome on commentary. I hate that like all my notes were on Mance, but that's what kind of shined to me. Like the in ring, like I said, in ring Cole and Mecca was good. It felt like a match that was happening, but it felt like Mance Warner was supposed to be the star there. And unfortunately for those two, he was the star in my opinion. But and a good matchup for both, I think.
I think it was one of these things where you knew it was only a matter, like the gun was almost cocked and ready to go. And I think what was going on was we knew it was only a matter of time before Cole and Mance were going to have to meet within those minutes that he was out there. So I was just waiting for the gun to go off. That's kind of, maybe that's what you were looking for, kind of, was just you were waiting for that final, okay, what's Mance going to do? He's not out here just to talk on commentary for fun. So.
And it's like every show has advanced the story, which has been awesome to see. Like, that was one thing I was getting kind of worried of. Like, how are you going to top the next match? And they have just topped it with the violence and the bloodshed and everything else. But like, that was my main concern when they started. Like, they started off so hot. How are you going to keep it going the next show or the next show and the next show to further along the story? And it's been cool to see them do it in different ways where not both of them have to be involved and separated each time. They're doing, like, this one was a perfect example of Cole just setting up their match, but that's also Cole fighting on Effie's behalf to rid GCW of Mance Warner. So I just been like seeing the storyline progressing little by little each show.
Well, one of the things that's kind of intelligently done is that Mance is alone. So one of the things that makes Effie, one of Effie's weaknesses as a character is the fact that he has all these friends and all these people that depend on him and vice versa, just to get through life and whatnot. And Mance attacks those people. He attacks those branches or arms that Effie has to his heart there. So you can't really do that back with Mance because there's no one around him to attack. He's basically put himself in a position where he doesn't have any weaknesses outside of whatever he's doing inside himself. So I also thought that was intelligently done. We can't pick apart his friends, which gives him an intelligent, like a very smart advantage in this storyline. Excuse me here. Mansard Lee's oh, go ahead, buddy. I was just,
I was going to say, I agree. I was just trying to kill some time there while you cleared yourself. I was just going to say, I agree with everything you said there. Like,
thank you.
It's been a good story. Like, I was a little bit worried after the start of it, but they have progressed it nicely. And I like the little pieces here and there and seeing it progress over and over again. It's been awesome.
You ever clean your house and kick up dust? That's what's going on. That's why I'm like,
I'd be dying if that was me.
Oh, I'm allergic. It is what it is.
Yep.
So I'm just like fighting through it no matter what. So just as we thought, Mansard leaves commentary and starts attacking Cole. Cole starts firing away on Mance. Cole grabs a steel chair and threatens to hit him with it. Mance is begging for mercy. Cole goes for the shot and Mance hits a low blow instead. Cole down with a sore yam bag on the ground. Mance calls for a mic. He tells Cole Effie isn't here. Stand up on your own. You don't need Effie. Start listening to Manser, and maybe I won't cut you up in Chicago. He kicks Cole in the nuts again and then says Effie can't touch him, so he's going to start cutting up his circle of friends. That's when Allie runs out with a chair to save Cole, and Mance runs off. So that was the next chapter in the story between Mance and Effie. Again, picking apart the friends, and perfect. Well done.
Yep.
I wish I had better words for it. It's all so well done. Good for him.
Yeah, even like your next note there, I agree. I like what they've been doing. Get the mask on. Effie might need that mask against Mance Warner with the screwdriver.
My son got this for his birthday. He got it for his birthday, and I was playing with it. Sorry.
I like the next video that they had with the sit down conversation too. It kind of I'm definitely looking forward to part 2 or however many parts there is, because that's something I think that brings a lot more depth to the feud, and hear them kind of be able to literally face to face having to talk with each other with like good old JR or Dave Prazak in this case in the middle. It old school vibes, and I love that video package that they did.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell the fans and listeners out there, I did reach out to both of them to see if they would like to come on the show and talk about the whole thing, but they had just recently shot a lot of the footage that you just saw this past weekend, and it just made no sense to kind of go over it again. But I'm happy that they did this because it's taking it to a different level, and I was happy to see both Mance and Effie out there kind of stretching their acting chops a little bit in this whole thing. That's what I'd have to say about that.
All right, our next matchup is another fun one that I was glad it was thrown together. It is Akira versus Matt Mikowski. I knew for sure that this was going to be a crowd pleaser between two crowd favorites, and stylistically, how creative and what they're able to provide with like kind of the MMA and kind of like the hybrid kind of wrestling / MMA styles that both of them have. I thought this was going to be kind of like a really good blood sport match, and it was, with the wrestling involved with it, not so much the blood sport. But yeah, it was a good match, great match, and it hit everything that I expected but both competitors to have, and I was happy to see it.
Well, yeah, there was a lot going on here. So I covered Mikowski extensively in the last couple of shows and even earlier in this one. So I will talk about Akira for just a moment. It's been a little while since we've seen him. We first seen Akira on October 9th, 2021 at GCW's Fight Club 2021 Mox versus Gage. Since then, he's had a total of 19 matches for GCW. He's held 6 titles in his career, the longest being the AWR Revolutionary Champion for 223 days. I wrote down here between these two, there was a clash of styles. Akira was more unorthodox and using some misdirection, whereas Mikowski was more ground-based with holds and in-your-face attitude. I put here that the match was decent. I believe it's better for those who likes more like ground-based wrestling. And I know that probably then was right up your alley, Brent.
Yep, it fit like the blood sport kind of match in my head going into like we always talk about the stylistics and how each match feels different styles in GCW. You get the comedy, the hard hitting, the 5-star matchup, the flippy, the comedy. This one kind of hit the blood sport one for me. As you said, I do enjoy the groundwork that both of them used throughout this match, and this stylistically worked out for me with these two wrestlers, and I'm glad they were able to showcase it. Akira's one too. Like Akira's a local, or not a local name, but a domestic name that I would not mind seeing in TOS. Like he's one that he's shined before when we've seen him do death matches in GCW, and we haven't seemed to see any more of that in recent times. And I feel like now seeing him this night gives me a little bit of hope that we will see him used a little bit more in the future, because I enjoy Akira's work, and he does provide a completely different style that I see anybody do in wrestling, not even just in deathmatch wrestling, but wrestling in general. So I think he could fit in at TOS, and he just fits in general in GCW. And Mikowski, I think, was a good fit for him in this night.
Hard to argue that, man. I think you wrapped that one up pretty good.
Oh, here's a nice little stat I did not know. From
What's
Great
that?
One, Mikowski winning via pinfall was a rare sight. Up until a few months ago, he won 100% of his victories via knockout or submission. That's cool.
Well.
That's a cool little thing to keep keep protected in your characters. Being able to win by knockout or submission MMA style. So yeah, I never really noticed that. So that's a cool thing
Good
you
one.
picked up on. Yeah, that's awesome.
God, good one, man.
All
All
right.
right.
Next matchup is John Wayne Murdoch going against the one called Manders. I thought this was going to be a war. It was. I was happy to see both of them get it. Manders, just anytime he's getting these matchups, I just think it's good for him, no matter what the result of the match is in. Him just getting these opportunities to showcase his talent has been awesome. And John Wayne Murdoch's a very good name, and I think another good stylistic matchup that could help Manders look good. And this match was a war. I loved the intensity that both of them brought and the violence, and it kind of kept the hard-hitting pace that the match prior kind of set the tone for in my eyes.
All right. So Murdoch was out first. He's got his thumb taped up after the Samoan Spike situation the night before. Let's kind of run down a couple of things here just to kind of bring you up to date on Murdoch. 21 years in ring, 33 championships to his name, and the current unsanctioned pro hardcore champion, 87 days running. His longest reign is 499 days as Horror Slam Deathmatch champion. Manders was out next. 7 titles in his 7-year career. The current Action champion, he just won it 25 days ago. He's also the winner of the Scenic City Invitational Tournament 2023. This was a matchup I didn't know I wanted until I saw them face off. They both have a country grit to them, both very tough, very meaty men, which I don't know if there's a better way to put it, but like if you wanted to see 2 old school men that are tough fight it out, it's like these are those 2 guys. Manders was the obvious face and the fan favorite. Murdoch attempted the spike and he ended up hurting his own thumb on that. Manders grabbed the first chair and then brought out a staple gun, but Murdoch grabbed it first and stapled Manders multiple times. Manders was suffocated with a plastic bag. Murdoch disrespectfully messing with Manders' hat, then his gear. You never do that to a cowboy. I do appreciate Murdoch's sense of humor, but it really pissed off Manders. Murdoch dropped onto interlock chairs. Murdoch with a dirty low blow. Both find themselves giving each other brutal chops that turn into forearms. Manders slides the first door in the ring. Murdoch gets stapled in the nuts. Then again, 10 more times by the fans. It's chanted. Manders was playing it up wonderfully. Headbutts back and forth. Both men on the top rope. Murdoch with a deep South destroyer through the door for 3. Our winner here was John Wayne Murdoch. I immediately posted online once the face-off happened. I'm like, dude, I did not know how much I needed this match. Like, wow, what a great booking on this one.
I'm the same way. That's a matchup that I never kind of put together and all the craziness that I've done. And wow, yeah, that's one that I didn't put together and it delivered. And I wouldn't mind seeing it run back again because that's how talented both of these were.
Man, I cleaned so much it's getting you choked up at your house, huh?
Yeah.
Either that or you're crying. Does this match you touch your feelings, huh?
Yeah, the lariats always get me from Manders.
The lariat of love.
All right. Our next matchup is turned into a handicap match as the rich and powerful go against the Kirks, Casey and Brandon. And I thought a nice little wrinkle here was Brett being on commentary and kind of made me really pay attention to this match and see what he was going to say about the rich and powerful and anything else that was happening. So that was a nice mystery touch that I wasn't expecting, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, this match was a cool storytelling. And like, as I was saying before, after seeing Peril the night before and hoping that rich and powerful would be used a little bit more in the coming cards, the next night I see it. And so I was happy to see how it all played out, especially with the rich and powerful going against the Kirks, as there's some history there as well.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this once I saw this matchup was going on. Mason comes out in a burgundy suit flanked by Richard Holiday. Brandon Kirk then comes out next, but there's no Casey. There's a quick silence. The music starts over. Out comes Casey. Fans laughed. Love the Kirks chant. My wife likes watching Casey also. She's in the ring and puts on her black protective mask. I heard a love the perch chant coming from the crowds. Me too. I think fans love it when the referees stand up for themselves. And in GCW, I think the referees have to be tough. And I can't wait to see Adam or Max retaliate one day. Max Recon could have some heavy fists on him. That's not a little man at all.
I want to see Max throw some people around. That's what I want to see.
It can happen. Get the fuck out of this ring, and over someone goes. Oh, Max can throw, dude. He's ex-military too. It's not like he can't take care of himself. Oh, all right. So Pero enters the ring from behind the Kirks and levels them both. The match is now a 3 versus 2 handicap match. The fans were not happy. Dave called it rich, powerful, and powerful. I thought that was a nice little play on words. So Brett Lauderdale tags in and takes over commentary for Reefer. Reefer was obviously out of words. Brett asked for an eighth and get me an ounce of that kush. Prazak warns Cardona could be listening, and Brett says he's probably at Disney or something. So we broke down into a legit tag match here. Perch is working his ass off trying to get the teams in their proper corners. You can see Brandon goes to one corner and then stays there. Perch comes down to move the heels to the other corner, but they're working so they don't hear him. So Perch gives up, walks back up to Brandon, and has his move over to another corner. If you're paying attention, it's funny to see. So the heels have their backs to the hard cam instead, and they're working in the blind corner where the hard cam can't even see what they're doing. Good job, Perch, trying to get that right. It's the little things that he's always there for, even if they happen rarely, like in this case. Mason spits liquid at Kirk. Nice adjustment made by Holiday to turn their sequence of moves in the right direction for their spit spot. Mason's character is rich. I recommend that maybe he spits grape juice or wine. I think it's a better visual. It fits the character, and it looks good running down the wrestler's face, especially if they have white clothing. I like the idea of spitting on your opponent as a heel because I think it's gross, and when it soaks into the mat, it just looks like blood. Brett mentions that Rich and Powerful are still undefeated in GCW, then mentioned our last TOS participant is waiting for visa issues to clear up. That's where I was talking earlier about TOS. So that is that. Let's see here. Holiday looks at Casey and tells her she should wear that mask for the rest of her life, honey. Pero wasn't as seen in this match as he could have been, but I'm guessing he was slightly muted, so the 3 versus 2 dynamic wasn't too one-sided. Holy shit chance for Casey picking up Pero onto her shoulders. I went directly on X with that and was like, oh my God, I just witnessed a Christmas miracle. She had him clean too. She put him up there, no questions asked. Casey's mask is ripped off by Holiday. Pero enters, accidentally kicked Holiday instead of Casey. Casey with a low blow on Pero, and Kirk finished Pero for 3. So just as Brett mentioned that there were not going to be that Rich and Powerful has not lost, then they lose minutes later. Yeah, Brett. Let's see. My thought. I didn't know if I was even going to mention this or not, but if Rich and Powerful had such a streak as they did, and they're heels, and they're supposed to be this imposing, I think I would have maybe written that streak break at a bigger show and with a little push behind a story there, because they did a lot of work, many, many matches to be undefeated, and it really stinks to have that streak broken without any pomp at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think it's kind of tough. You don't want to push that when you still kind of got the heel tag team as the tag team champions. I think maybe that's why they didn't want to kind of push 2 at the same time. But I agree with you. If they were going to kind of make mention of it and make a big deal out of it, I think they should have made a bigger deal out of it. But I'm just glad to see the Kirks kind of pick up the surprising victory over Rich and Powerful. And yeah, great one goes when Casey lifted up Pero, I was like, what the hell is going on? That was like so surprising and so awesome to see. And like the Kirks have been killing it in GCW. They're ones that we always call for TOS too. And I could see them having a little feud with Rich and Powerful now. That would make a lot of sense based off of Mason's history of attacking women and loved ones. I think that would be kind of a cool story to tell, and it kind of gets the Kirks involved in a pretty big story in their return to GCW. But I'm just glad that they were able to have this match. And I just, once again, the pacing of this mystery card was awesome, just like the night before. And everything's been exceeding my expectations. And this match was one of them, with the Kirks picking up the surprise victory. All right, that will lead us into our next match of the evening, which was Broski Jimmy going against Jordan Oliver. Another nice touch to this card. Another great performance by everyone. This is, and I just wrote this time, like, everyone's killed it. This has been a fun and entertaining show, and it's every single match. It seems to be forwarding a feud, or each one has a purpose, and they've made mention to it on commentary and made a big deal. So it doesn't feel just like one of these throwaway nights that have fun. It's like, we are having fun. We're having all this shit happen around us like we normally would at one of these shows. But these matches in the card has a purpose, and it's making sense. And I just loved how everything clicked throughout this entire night. And Jimmy and Jordan was a nice little touch to it.
Yeah, this was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. So Jimmy was out first. He grabs the mic. Some small love was given by the fans for him being a hometown guy. Jimmy says, quote, "Happy to be here at Ridgefield Park. It's the mecca of professional wrestling. Just kidding. This place is a shithole. This is the capital of shindy wrestling." He says, "Tonight is the mystery show, so bring out some local enhancement talent so I can squash them. So afterwards, I'm going to make my mentor, Matt Cardona, proud, because I'm going to have sex tonight. Woo, woo, woo. You know it." Fans absolutely hated that. The enhancement talent for the night happens to be former JCW World Champion and GCW Tag Team Champion Jordan Oliver. And Jordan looks ready to go. Adam calls for the gong. Jimmy eats an immediate boot to the face. Brett announces Cardona seen Prazak taking the joint. That probably isn't going to go very well for Prazak. He's probably going to get fined for that. Funny coincidence, I posted about Jimmy getting a tan, and Prazak mentioned it a minute later. It just happens that I guess me and Prazak were on the same page. Jimmy hits Cardona with a low blow by pushing Adam into the corner. I'm waiting for Cardona to maybe start complaining about some of the dirty stuff Jimmy's doing, but I don't think that's going to happen. Jimmy seems to be barely surviving. Jordan hits an acai moonsault to the outside, and chairs fly everywhere. Eventually, Jimmy brings in the belt, attempts to hit Jordan and misses. Jordan with a clout cutter for the win. I see a lot of things Cardona should complain about and obviously won't, but that's half the fun of being a heel. Jordan Oliver picks up the win with 7.5 minutes. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, happy to see Jordan get a victory. Happy to see the Cardona GM story getting pushed over. And yeah, Jimmy versus Jordan seemed like a good pairing, and good momentum builder for Jordan. And yeah, I enjoyed it. And I just been a fun show at this point is what I wrote in my notes. So yeah, nice, short and simple there. Our next matchup is Griffin McCoy going against Charlie Tiger. Another match that makes sense as it kind of blends into the feud of Griffin McCoy and the Young, Dumb, and Broke group. But I just hope this means we get Griffin and Jordan away from each other. Griffin can now move on to the rest of Young, Dumb, and Broke and have feuds with them. I don't think he should be feuding with Jordan at the moment, and Jordan should be focused on bigger and better things in GCW. But I was able to appreciate that this is another match on this card that furthers a feud, and I'm glad that Griffin McCoy and Charlie Tiger got a showcase on this card to have a good match to further along that storyline.
So Griffin came out first. He's the top guy, I guess. Charlie coming out highly motivated, both trained at the CZW Academy, both 8 years experience, both debuted at GCW's The World on GCW at the Voltage Lounge on March 12, 2020. Charlie has 2 championships to his name, the AWE Tag Team Championship for 630 days and the current unsanctioned Pro Heavyweight Championship for 87 days running. I put here that Charlie did a lot to keep the intensity up. He had one white boot and one black boot, and I didn't notice that until halfway through the match. But then when I did, I couldn't stop noticing. I put here that the wrestling was somewhat average to me. I think I saw McCoy do a Razor Ramon boot onto Charlie's face, but I was unsure here. McCoy wins with a kick off the middle rope. And that was around, again, a very short 8-minute match here. To me, I wrote that this felt very JCW, but also Young, Dumb, and Broke have that feel because they've been most utilized at JCW, which I feel honestly is appropriate for them.
Sorry. Yeah. And I think it was appropriate too, being at Ridgefield, to kind of have some JCW talent on the card. And yeah, I thought it was a good match, especially when it sets up the main event. As the main event of the Sunday night special ends up having the main event, Jay Lion and Midas Black wrestling against the surprise and mystery tag team of Ruckus and Nick fucking Gage. Once again, awesome seeing Nick Gage teaming with Ruckus, and I thought this was a cool, funny / haha way to end the Sunday night show, with the main event being in the main event, and kind of, as you were saying, kind of a bookcasing or whatever that word is, starting the first night, ending the weekend. So I do enjoy that little piece of it, and seeing Nick Gage and Ruckus as a team was fun, and I thought this was a nice, fun way, an entertaining way to send the crowd home happy after a fun mystery show. And kind of cool seeing main event to get in the ring against Nick Gage. That's kind of a pairing I never thought I would see, but luckily Nick Gage teaming with Ruckus made this possible.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. So the cool thing first is I'm just realizing we're over 2 hours in. We're definitely into overtime, which is awesome. So we're going to main event it right at the overtime mark. Yeah, the main event was out first. I felt this was a well-deserved main event, especially given their performances openers the night before. Fans like seeing them, but that changed when they became opponents of Gage and Ruckus. Gage and Ruckus come out, the crowd comes alive. Emil announces Ruckus as fighting out of Chocolate City with a street value of $31 million. He's the Teddy Long of hitting the bong, the Michael P.S. Hayes of getting blazed, the Jake the Snake of getting baked, and the Bruce Lee of ooh-wee. I can't do that high of a voice.
I missed all that.
Ruckus. No shit. Did you?
I must have stepped away from the bathroom real fast before the match started or something. I missed that intro.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Gage gets in his opening that we all love to memorize and repeat. Gage and Ruckus immediately pull out the chairs. Main event, pull it out the hula hoop. Gage cleared the ring several times of both opponents. Big Gage and Ruckus chants separately. I would say main event's team experience kept them in the fight as long as it could. A door bridge was built. Ruckus placed on top. Midas goes to the top rope. Gage wakes up. Lion starts to fight Gage, puts him on his shoulders. Midas jumps from the top rope and across Gage's back and goes into a double foot stomp that misses Ruckus that was on top of the door bridge. That door breaks under Midas's weight. Gage pushes Jay into a heavy Ruckus fist. Jay is spun around into a Nick Gage chokehold. Gage picks up Jay and hits the choke breaker. Gage covers for the win. I had to go slowly on that one, but I can definitely tell you that was, again, a quick 6 minutes and 45 seconds, but a pretty cool ending.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I wasn't surprised it was short. Maybe that short a little bit, but I once I saw like where the time was and everything, I was like, oh, they're going to try to get this down underneath 2 hours and get out of here. But it was cool. Like I said, I didn't expect to see any interaction of main event Nick Gage anywhere in the GCW future, and being able to see it on this Sunday night special was awesome. And I think that just was a perfect way to wrap up the mystery, as we got a matchup that we wouldn't have seen. And I'm glad to see Nick Gage on back-to-back weekends or back-to-back nights on a weekend, get some ring time in and look incredible. Ruckus looked incredible, and I was happy for main event to get the ring time in with the name of Ruckus and Nick Gage in a main event of a GCW show. And I was really glad. I know you probably will say here too, but I was happy that Nick Gage gave some love to main event for all the hard work that they've been doing. And I just thought it was a good show, great pacing. Loved the mystery, loved the mysteriousness of it. Loved the unpredictability. Loved the foolishness of the gong and everything else. So this was one of those GCW shows that was a good show, or very good show in my opinion, and one I love seeing thrown in the mix every once in a while.
Yeah, I was really happy that he said something nice about main event there. He also said he couldn't believe that he is still standing in a wrestling ring with Ruckus. He said he feels Ruckus is about to go on a run and people should watch. Very interesting. Does that mean here at GCW, or is Ruckus going on a run overall somewhere? I have no idea. But that was the last thing he said before it was MDK all fucking day. So what do you think on that one, man?
It would be cool to see kind of Ruckus get some time, like how Slim J is in Ring of Honor. Like, I think he could be a good enhancement talent that could also like showcase some cool moves that get some eyes to the Ring of Honor product. I wouldn't mind seeing Ruckus there, but just to see him as much as we have in these short months has been awesome to see. And I if that means they run in GCW, I'm for it, because like I said, seeing him in LA and seeing how easily he was hitting every single move and just going with the flow and still being like a ring general and helping out everybody in the ring was awesome to see. And yeah, I don't see any slowdown in Ruckus like how I was expecting to see, and it's been cool.
Mm. Well, yeah, I think that that wrapped up GCW's the Sunday night special from the Mecca in Ridgefield Park. So that leaves. Is there anything you want to talk about before I go into those upcoming shows?
Fun, fun mystery show. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the weekend. I think I told you beforehand, I enjoyed the Sunday night special more than the previous night, and I still stand by that. I think, but I really liked how both shows were booked. Like, it was flawless. Like, other than by complaining about Joey and Blake, but I think just the pacing, the match flows, like it just was constant go, 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 never like really downtime. I enjoyed this weekend of shows, and I just thought for me, the Sunday night special was a good way to kind of end the weekend and left me with a smile on my face.
And I will say it was weird to have no championships defended. For
I didn't
me,
notice
I'm a
that.
bigger fan of having at least one or two. Yeah, the minute I looked at that, I'm like, that might be just a sign of, hey, we need to pay attention to where our championships are. Maybe not. It's not my company, but the again, it's maybe just me being a fan, but the card seems a little more important when there is a championship match being defended. So
Even if
just
it's
want
like
to
a
kind of
tag
mention that.
title extreme, like you just got to showcase one of those and just then put it on like the card to make it like just to make it fit, as you said, raise the importance of the card, because I think that does hurt when nothing's really promoted as a championship match. But I still enjoyed it. But I was like, when you wrote that, I was like, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, there was no title defenses, but overall, I still thought
None.
it was a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, no champions to be seen. No current champion to be seen at that time. So, all right. So I'll go right into these upcoming shows. Let me see if any other fans had anything to say. The man with three H's, he said GCW or AEW. Well, GCW, honestly, we kind of have a thing for that. When is Moxley coming back to GCW? That's a great question. As soon as we could have him, I'd love to see him here. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon for a while right now, but I don't know. I don't know Moxley that well. I wish I did, and I wish I had a line to him, but I do not. I don't know. Never say never. That's about the best way to put that. All right. So on to our upcoming show. The first one we have then will be, let me make sure that I have my dates right here, because I do not have my dates right here. The first one will be on May 25th. Yeah, I know it shows 420. That's the old date. May 25th here. That would be GCW's Take a Picture from Talia Hall in Chicago, Illinois. Sage, if you're fancy. Gage and Zilla versus the Rejects. We have Danhausen versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Gringo Loco versus Jurlistico. Be a very good match. Kylie Ray versus Dark Sheik. Joey Janela versus Eric Cannon. One of our new favorites, Megan Bain versus Ali Catch, which is a match that needs to happen, and I'm really happy the rematch is going on here in GCW. Mance Warner versus Cole Radrick. That was waiting to happen. Violence is Forever versus Los Desperados. I'm assuming that's for the GCW tag title. Microman versus Broski, Jimmy Lloyd, and finally Effie will be in the building. So that's again
It's a strong
the
card.
25th of May. Yeah, Take a Picture. Tickets are still available for that one. For our next show, this will be May 26th. This is GCW Paranoid from the Valleydale Ballroom in Columbus, Ohio. First match here is One Called Manders versus Bishop versus Isaiah Broner. That's going to be nasty. Then we have Bussy versus SDL and Broski Jimmy. Violence is Forever versus Jordan Oliver and Myron Reed. What were your thoughts on that one?
Let's go, Injustice. Give me new tag belts. Make me happy. Give me new tag champions. Give me Injustice back in GCW. I want to say one thing. Myron Reed has been killing it.
Yes,
every single place he's gone. I just watched the match that Wrestling Revolver. They're doing some good shit too, by the way. Like, woof. But man, Myron Reed, it's just been, I've been talking about Myron Reed for a long time.
Yes.
And seeing him now getting these big matchups and showcase matches and other independents and Impact and everywhere else, it's been awesome to see. And I'm really excited to see Violence is Forever, obviously, against Injustice. I think that's going to be a very, very good tag team matchup. And maybe I could get surprised there. I wouldn't mind seeing Myron with some gold in GCW.
I'm not against the try and not against him trying. You never know. At this rate, again, we may have a team between Oliver and Myron. Or Oliver makes a good tag team partner. I don't know how that works, but it's just when you need someone to be solid on their end, he can do that. And with Myron Reed, yeah, we need to bring that band back together kind of a situation here.
They were impressive in MLW. I want to see them as much as they both have grown since like the last time we've seen them as a tag team. I'm really excited to see what they provide together. And with the team of Violence is Forever too, been on the roll. Like I'm actually really no, this is obviously Homer right here, but I'm super excited to see that matchup this weekend. That's like the matchup in my eyes all weekend long.
All right, here. Then we have Joey Janela versus Kevin Blackwood. That's going to be a really good match. Los Desperados versus the Rad Bros. I don't know who the Rad Bros are off the top of my head. Maybe a local, somebody local from Unsanctioned from Columbus, maybe.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I never heard of them either.
We're pretty good with names and everything. So if it's someone that maybe, it might be someone new. The Rejects versus To Infinity and Beyond. I remember when we first saw To Infinity and Beyond, they were pretty impressive. We like seeing them, so I'm happy to see them back. Trisha Dora versus Haley Dillon. Very interested to see how that one's going to go. And then lastly, it shows here MDK will be in the building. So same thing. Tickets are available for those shows. There's a couple things here. First of all, I like actually seeing Gage and Zilla together, and I'm hoping it stays that way for a while. I know we talked about that, but every time I see them together, it just feels like you put two wrecking balls on one team, and something about that feels dangerous. But since it's Nick Gage, it's also exciting. Danhausen, that's the other thing. We've had him a lot more than I expected. I thought that was a 1, 2, 3 time shot, and it seems like we're getting him a lot more than before. And
I'm happy with
the other thing is I like the curse of Danhausen. I like the evil GCW style Danhausen. I'm hoping that sticks around, because AEW, I feel like they really comedied him up a little. It was a little too much comedy. They gave him like Munster music from the Munsters from like the 60s and shit. Like do 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 do. So yeah, I was thinking this Violence is Forever versus Los Desperados from the 525 show. Take a picture. I thought that could have been also a title change, but Gringo Loco is not with the Desperados that night.
Oh, is it Alrez and Latigo?
Yeah, and Gringo Loco versus Drolistico's on the card already, so I know Gringo can't pull double duty. So I'm trying to figure that one out.
I got a different matchup here on Cage Match. It says, well, this is a cage match too. It says it's Los Desperados going against a team of Bang and Matthews and Cole Radrick.
For Take a Picture?
Ah, shit. No.
Or Paranoid.
Paranoid. My bad. I was looking at the wrong card.
You fucking with me for a minute. I'm like,
I'm bad. I was looking for that other team you said too that I couldn't figure out. What was that team? Rad Bros.
The Rad Bros. Yeah. Yeah. That Bane and Catch, man, I'm looking forward to seeing that a lot. That needs to happen. Like, Yeah.
Oh, okay, it is the Rad Bros is Bagan Matthews and Cole Radrick. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
That's what I thought I originally saw, but then once you said Rad Bros, that totally left my head. I'm like, who the fuck are the Rad Bros? Like, I thought I just saw them.
wow.
I can remember. I want to that Megan Bain versus Alley Catch match. Allie's got a showcase, man. Like Bane's been killing
She
it.
better step up. She better step up.
I hate to say that, but Bane has been that impressive. Where this is one where Allie wants to showcase she's the GCW woman. She's got to step up and deliver here. I'm really excited for this matchup and what it could possibly mean because, like I said, Megan and we were saying, Megan's been super impressive and been killing in those 2 matches, her short time here. And I really think it's one of those ones where she might make Allie Catch not look so good in the ring, and that won't be good for Allie. So, but when Allie has her back up against the wall or when she has these big matchups, she usually does step up and deliver. So I'm excited to see what we get that night between those two. I think that's just like a big like women's matchup. If we had like a women's title still, that would feel like such a giant, huge matchup in my head.
Oh, it's like the older dog versus the newer dog. Who's got it?
Yeah.
Allie's going to have to bring her game. Megan's going to have to bring her game. Yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting matchup. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we have here. I really see Bane going higher up, maybe into WWE at some point. She has a great look to her. She has a great foundation. She's got strong legs on her. It's not like she can't pick up weight. So, what do you do there? I just watched her have a match with Jimmy and I almost forgot it was a female in there. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in the best of ways. Again, for the longest time, the highest compliment for a female is she wrestles like a man. What that means is you are doing something that's so well done that it's blurring the lines of male and female. That's amazing. So I saw Megan do that, and I've seen Allie do that before too. But we're going to see 2 big dogs butt heads here. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Allie bring her A game. She's been doing so wonderful these last 6 months to a year or so, but it's been a while, I think, since we've seen her best, at least in GCW, because a lot of her GCW work is bussy work and more fun stuff. This can be more serious, and I like that.
That's what I was just about to say. I was literally just about to say that. I really hope we get a serious Alley Catch and not like the comedy kind of matchup that we sometimes do see with Alley Catch. I really wanted this one to be a serious, like, hey, like a battle for
jobs,
women's supremacy in GCW. And that's one thing, like I said, I was just about to piggyback off of that, but you hit it before I did. I want a serious and not a fun Alley Catch. I want the like I'm fighting for what is mine. Like this is her time to shine, to fight for a company that she's been repping all the time. So
welcome back, Kylie Ray. Also, I think that's really nice. She was off for a while and now she's back at it. I feel she's a lot like Leo Rush. She burns strong and burns bright, and then she has to kind of take a break for a while, get herself reset. I've had times like that too. I completely get it. I go balls out and then I just die off and I need time to just recharge and get myself back together. Other people need that too. I respect that 100%. Let's see, who else do we have?
I'm happy to see her back too.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've gotten through Broski, Jimmy, and Microman. I don't even know where to put that on in my head. That's going to be, I don't know what to think. I don't even know what to think. You know what goes on in my head? Things like a lumberjack match with Microman on the outside. I don't know why. See, I think odd things sometimes. Do you imagine a Microman lumberjack? Okay. All right. I just wanted to see if there's anybody else that I have on here that I thought was worth mentioning. That Mance Warner versus Alec Price right after Mance Warner versus Cole the night before. They are really setting up the whole Effie thing by having Mance pick through each member of Effie's friends. And I like how that's building.
Every match looks incredible from both cars. Like, I'll be honest with you. There's not like one I'm like down on. Like each one is like, damn, that's going to be good for this reason. That's going to be good for this reason. Like, I'm excited to see Manders, Broner, and Bishop just beat the fuck out of each other. That's going to be like a fucking, what was that show back in the day? The super, not like the fans got to like wrestle or not wrestle, but box like other people. It wasn't like a strong man. Was it strong man? Like some sort of like strong man boxing competition. Like that's what this just reminds me of. This is going to be just a 3-way massacre, and I can't wait to see bodies fly in that match.
Do you remember the pros versus Joes?
Yeah, and it was similar to that. Like, but it was just like not the Butterbean one, but like they had like on ESPN like just amateur just people boxing, but they called it like this. I forgot what it was. Like not the Iron Man, but. I don't know. I that one like those three. I'm just excited to see just meat flying there. That's the Haas fight for you. I think that's going to be. That has a sneaky chance to be a really good one. I'm right there with you though. Alec Price versus Mance Warner. I didn't even think about the whole garbage daddies factor there until like you said that. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that goes into the whole garbage daddy, so he can really mess with both of them. But I'm just happy to see Alec Price get the match against Mance. I think that's another big matchup for him as well.
So just on the tail end of the show, we were talking about COS on Twitter a while back here. So people are saying, how could the match with Blake and Joey Janela go? Here's how crazy it can go. Blake could win the title and Mance can come out and challenge for the belt right there on the spot that night. We could have 2 championships go on that night. Then we could have Cole challenge that night also. We could have 3 straight championship matches in a row if we really went crazy on the booking. It's possible. We could have Janela win and then Cardona takes on, or I'm sorry, but Manser takes on Janela, and then whoever wins between that, if Janela wins, night could be over. If Manser wins, here comes Cole going, the fuck you ain't going home with that championship. I got to bring a brass ring on me. And who knows? It could be a very interesting night at COS.
That's what I was hoping for at Collective, with some just bullshit fuckery. Like just have 4 people walk out with that belt. I don't care. Like I just think Collective been a good time. COS is another good time, but I was thinking too, like Mance could like somehow injure Effie the night before, so that way, like, oh fuck your Cage's survival, it's not happening. Effie's out, so like it kind of gets the fans to think Effie's not going to be there at COS. Mance comes out, fucks Joey out of the title, and then he's in there celebrating. And then you just see Effie come out and drag his carcass out to challenge Effie or challenge Mance still in a COS, and then Effie walk out all bloodied and gassed up on gasoline and everything. I don't know. Like, I do hope something cool like that happens. Like that's the only way I'll be happy, if Joey's kind of like just a pawn here in this whole thing. Like he's just being used as a face to kind of get the rest over, which then I would be cool with Joey winning the title belt. But I don't want to see a Joey title run going on. I don't want to see 4 or 5 shows with him carrying the show as champion. I would like to see him, if anything, be used to set up someone else that has like one of these big storylines going. But I saw what you guys were writing. You guys had some really good ideas. I do enjoy some of those. And I have like my creative thinking. I was like, damn, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Fans had a couple really interesting ideas, and we're not going to go through any of them really right now, but yeah, there was a lot of swerves we were thinking of and a lot of different ways things could be handled. But yeah, the most ornate way I could think of is we have that fight, and then all of a sudden Mance challenges, and all of a sudden here comes Cole's challenge. But right now I think Cole's going to use that on the garbage daddies. I think that he's going to try to they're going to knock off Violences Forever is what I'm thinking. We there right now our new young talented tag team. That's about the best way to put it. Just that young face tag team that everybody wants to just be on board with. So we'll see. I could run through a million tag teams right now that could also take that title too. So, but yeah, I think that brass ring goes to the tag title.
I think that's the safest way for it to move. And it's like something unexpected. It keeps everyone on their toes. Next year, it could be somebody that doesn't want the GCW World title. They're the ultraviolet type. They want to go for the ultraviolet title. Like it leaves hope and openings for other titles, which I'm all for too.
Hell yeah. Well, I think we did it, bud. We made it through another one. We went deep into overtime.
Thank you, Cassidy, for paying for the overrun on tonight's show on youtube.com. So we appreciate it, Cassidy. Make sure we tweet out that overrun.
Well, it's supposed to be an hour. We do like 2 hours, and sometimes we just start talking. It's 2.5. Shit happens sometimes. But well over 200 of us right now. It's just getting ready to be 1:30 in the morning. So awesome that everybody came on to listen. I really do appreciate it a lot. We appreciate it a lot. Is there anything else you can think of tonight that we can? I'm tired. You're tired. We all tired. We're all insomniacs. So
I think we're gonna have another busy next Tuesday night as well with those two shows. Like just seeing those cards, we're like, like I'm not actually more hyped seeing all those cards, and like not a bad match was on either one of those two nights. So I'm really excited for what's going to happen this weekend. The Talia Hall shows never disappoint, and that Paranoid card stacked too. So I'm hoping next Tuesday we're going to have quite a bit to talk about, and I'm excited for this weekend, especially now that no fucking kids, no teaching. I got all the time in the world. It's gonna be fun. I'm so much better now.
Man, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a lot of fun doing these over and over. I now start to wake up in the morning like happy, like, hey, we're gonna do the show today. You know, it takes a lot of time to prepare, so I look forward to doing that. And but okay, yeah, I'm trailing off and I'm tired. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Feel free to get a hold of me at my little thing here below. There it is. Game Changer Week.
I will be posting a lot more stuff now for the next couple of weeks than I normally have been as of late. I got more time on my hands. I'll put out some more clips, some more interactions. I was even thinking maybe if our timelines meet up here, maybe we could do a preview show leading into a GCW show one day if our timelines meet up. But yeah, we got some exciting times over these next couple weeks that I'm free now, and I could actually do some more stuff that you've been doing all the time. So I'm excited too, like to talk with like I said, Tom's Rubbish or Tom's Talks Rubbish. I'm excited to talk to those other two people this week or next week and do some interviews. And yeah, we've had a lot of fun times. Like those interviews are like something that's kind of like I enjoy just because it's different. Like we're not the ones having to control the pace and everything. We just get to talk about our story and kind of our thoughts other than what we do here. So it has been different. Nice reaching out to other podcasts. Yeah.
So I'm trying to look here. Just so everyone knows, we like to do interviews on the weeks that there isn't a previous show. So obviously there's no show to the review the weekend before. So our next interview is going to be on June 11th. We're not going to release any information about who that person or those persons are until we get closer to that time, just to make sure that everything is lined up with that person and we're just respectful with their schedule. So that's what's going on right now, though. Our next open is June 11th because GCW is banging out shows every weekend until that previous weekend before. So we did it, my friend. You ready to roll out of here?
Let's send him out of here. Here we go.
Thank you for everybody for coming in tonight. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Oh, real fast because I always screw us here. If you feel so, make sure you do follow the Body Slam Twitch channel.
Oh yeah. There. Look at that.
Also, if you also enjoy our work and have not yet, please also be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Body Slam's YouTube channel. And if you really, really like us, then we never do this, but I guess we should start doing this just in case. If you enjoy what we're doing, please go to slamchats.com and show your support and donate to the Body Slam team. Yeah, gotta get the ads and merch in there when we can before we forget.
You know what? It's just a bad habit on our part. Honestly, we should be doing that more, but we've just done it for so long one way. We're an old dog learning a new trick. So thank you for all the support from everyone. You know how it is. You can always DM me at any time. Brant, you can give him all the nasty, mean stuff. He loves all those ones. You can just give me the nice things. No, honestly, just get a hold of us if you need to. We'll talk to you at any time. Most people already know how it is with us. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be seeing you next Tuesday.
Yes.
You ready to do this, brother?
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Right. Let's get out of here. I almost said GCW first. I almost said G, and I was like, long. All right.
We'll get this right. I said long twice now. Live G C
W.
Have a good night, guys. Take care. Let me go ahead and kick this out of here.